Hello, everyone, and we're here today on the TubCast to talk about Brazil's elections. How's it going, Lilith?
Hello, Dev, and hello, Valkyrie.
Yes, we
Hey.
have,
It
we have a
is
guest.
going pretty well.
Actually, wait. What
Today
are we?
we're making a Brazil reference.
A Brazil reference?
Our
What?
entire video today will be a Brazil reference.
Are you the nostalgia critic?
Yes. No, wait, no, this is no Nostalgia Critic November. You're gonna make us fail.
Oh, that's right. No nostalgia critic November. Shit, that's how it is. So what do we actually want to call you? Because you go by several names online.
Okay. You can call me Valkyrie or Val.
Val.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Because I know your Twitter account is Cream Lunar, not anything related to Val.
Yeah, that's because of my name.
What do
It
you mean?
was more because of my name. Because my name is Luna.
Oh,
And so, yeah, I was just trying to find something that kind of went with it.
mm-hmm.
But, it was like many, many years ago.
Just wait a second. Just wait 1 second. Twitter.com/creamlunar. You already have the fucking Santa avatar. It's not even December
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah. Paduro is freed.
So, you are from Brazil, correct?
Yes.
And you've been
Unfortunately.
watching me for a while, I think, and you've also been watching Lilith stuff for a while.
I have actually, and I've been watching your stuff for I don't know 5 years, 4 years. It has been a long time. Like I
Really?
watched you, yeah, I watched you back when you did the not the Gamergate stuff, but like the anti SJW stuff.
Okay.
That's when I was introduced to your
Doesn't
content.
exactly narrow it down.
Yeah, true.
Well, I mean, 5 years ago, 2017, I was kind of doing that in 2017. Let me just quickly look it up. I've got everything organized. I've organized all my old files. Let's see here. What are the old videos? Oh yeah, the 2015 Paris attacks. I did the escalating meltdown of the left, future of the Democratic Party, the moral equivalence between the alt-right and Antifa, the working poor in Canada, why capitalism works. Yeah, these are all the my old videos from back then. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
it's old school dev.
Old school. Well, man, it's so weird to hear people say that 2017 was old school dev, considering that we started the channel in 2009. This doesn't feel like old school dev. You know what I mean?
Yeah, old school dev is when you started.
Ancient Dev.
Yeah, that's ancient history dev.
Mm-hmm. The old lore. The old lore. Here, let me.
It's like
Before...
for reference, I think Sargon and Shuon Head were still friends.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember that
Yep.
that picture that they took together in the meetup that you guys had.
Yep.
Milo
I remember.
Yiannopoulos was still a thing.
Yeah, he was still
Milo was
relevant.
still going.
And fucking a bunch of very cringe pictures of like the internet greats who are probably no.
Oh, yeah, Ralph
like
and
half of them are no longer around, and like
well,
or
to
half
be
of them
fair,
hate each other.
like Ralph is still around, but he's just like dying, and the same with Internet Aristocrat. But Ralph's doing it to himself. Internet Aristocrat got cancer, so those are two different
You mean
scenarios.
he's dying like literally, or just his channel?
Oh no, like Ralph has like severe alcoholism, and his liver is failing, and he's like 600 fucking pounds of fat, and whenever he travels, he gets the shit kicked out of him. Like, no one likes Ralph anymore. His life is basically falling apart live on internet TV. Meanwhile,
yeah, that's what I'm sorry. I was just gonna say that if Ralph was gonna kill himself in Minecraft, he would post it on Twitter. So I don't know.
Meanwhile, with Internet Aristocrat, like he kind of went a more positive route with his life. You know, he got a girlfriend, he married her, he got a house, but he also got cancer, and it's like really aggressive cancer. So he's kind of fucked too. Damn.
Oh, damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons why I don't see him much anymore is because he's just like he's doing very aggressive chemo and like has been for a while. It's one of the reasons why
he
he
became a Mr. Medicare.
yeah, he became
then
Mr. Medicare.
got- Yep.
That's kind of
For
sad,
people
to
who
be
aren't
honest.
aware. People who aren't aware the real OG stuff.
The real OGs.
Back when he used to be called something else.
Yeah. Well, man, like, if we're going really far back, the reason me and my friends started the channel back when we were younger was because we were inspired by people like Spoonie, and we had, like, a camera, and we just wanted to fuck around and
Spoonie,
make
that guy
anime
with the
videos.
glasses.
Yep. We started that shit in 2009, and those videos, we had a couple of viral hits, but going viral back then didn't really mean much, and, so there was no way to make money off of it. And you know, that show kind of went nowhere, and then like one of the people ended up moving away, so we just kind of started doing other things with the channel. But 2009, that was a time, man. And you know what? Spoonie even did an interview recently. Like on the 31st, he did an interview where he talked a bit about how his life has fallen apart, and he's moved back in with his parents. He's like in his mid-40s now, but he lost his house and he lost his girl. And he's like, I just want to start making reviews again, but I don't know if I can do it. And it's like, fuck. Damn.
Depression, man.
Yeah.
It really sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It
really just sounds like Spoonie fell into like a bout of deep depression and just stopped. Like he just lost his funk.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know what? I've been there. So
Yep.
it's like I can totally understand it. I mean, I'm sure you've been there too.
Mm-hmm. I think everyone's there at least a little bit.
It's a big like struggle for creative types, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that cycle that you get into depression and then you can't do anything, like you can't make new things, and so it just you start to spiral down and you lose control, and if you lose control, you are doomed.
Yes.
You can never let the music make you lose control, fellas.
Before we start the actual topic, I just want to point out that I have been cucked, you guys.
Oh no. Who's the bull?
I've been cucked. So, if I were I'm just pull this up real quick. There's this fellow who's not me on Twitter called Morbius Devo, who claims to have gone out to sushi with Naomi, my girlfriend. And that food does look good. So
You've already lost.
So maybe you guys should follow this fellow on Twitter. Maybe that's what you should do. If you want to make fun of somebody who has cucked me. Someone in the chat says
he's known for morbing.
He's known for it's Morbin time. Someone in the chat said Lilith finally got Naomi. There's like a lot of Lilith Naomi shippers right now that's going on. And it's like, all right, guys.
I mean, if she was trying, it would be
Dev's
over.
bull
Dev.
is the day he probably kills himself. But I wouldn't want that. I mean, or maybe he'd like it. IDK.
Lilith, how could you?
Damn, that sushi does look good, though. I would not blame her.
It was good, actually.
I fucking love sushi.
Yeah.
Recently went to a Chinese buffet myself. Been since forever.
Hold on. Chinese buffet and sushi are not the same thing. Chinese buffet, you might get like
Chinese
dysentery.
Buffet had sushi in it.
Oh god.
But it had sushi in it.
Okay. No, it's just that like a
guy's making sushi behind the counter, so it's
okay, fair enough.
Pretty much sushi.
All right, so it's not like gas station sushi where it's been in the package for 3 weeks.
Nah, I never do gas station sushi and never smoke gas station weed.
Wait, is there gas station weed?
You didn't know about that? It's like a joke. It's like like a black guy, like filming himself with his face, half of his face melted. It's like, don't ever try gas station sushi. Don't ever smoke gas station weed.
That's funny, and I haven't seen that before. Dude. Here, just real quick here. So today, enough goofing around. Today, we're going to talk about the Brazilian elections. After 2 quick super chats. Very quick. Son of a Pirate, £2, thank you. Whenever irreverence loses, the world itself loses. I don't know what you mean by that. And Dajjal for €6. Virgin Spoonie versus Chad Dev. Oh, don't worry. I've had my moments where I haven't made content for a while either. Actually, speaking of the content, like I haven't put out my usual videos in a little bit. Like I was sick, and then when I came back, I had like 4 interviews lined up. I did the interview with Stardust, I did the interview with Not So Erudite, and basically after today, I should be good to return to my normal like stream and video schedule. Dave's already editing tomorrow's video, so we should be good to return to normal and have all the normal content again.
Status quo's God, after all.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Let me just. Where's my other thing? Hold on. Okay, here it is. I'll share this with you guys so that you can see it in the call, and then after that, I'll share it with the viewers. Okay, check this out. So first things first. Is that this has been floating around a lot on the internet ever since the Brazilian election. With the results of the elections validated by the TSA, we are updating our electoral integrity policy, and we will move on to remove content that violates our policies. So basically, YouTube very quickly, much more quickly than in 2020, decided that you could not deny the integrity of Brazil's 2022 election results on their platform. I assume that this translation is accurate, right? Because you can read this. You're from Brazil, Val.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm gonna just say that. Okay, it's funny. It's hilarious actually that they acted so fast on this. But to be fair, they did have the example of the 2020 and 2 years to just prepare for such an occasion where they would need to
Yeah.
actually do this. So like it's hilarious
They
that
probably
they
want
did
to.
it.
They probably wanted to prevent like a Brazilian version of January 6th.
Yeah. I mean,
Spoiler alert,
But-
they didn't. Well,
yeah, the translation is correct.
yeah. So here's the thing. I have always found it to be like this for me is a step too far. YouTube should not have censored people saying that 2020 was fake, even though I think 2020 was real. And YouTube should not be censoring people who think that 2022 in Brazil is fake. I think this, in my opinion, in terms of just like they have the right to do it, but in terms of morals, this is too far. If you're taking a free speech stance, that means speech you don't like. That even means political speech you don't like. So yeah, you should be able to deny any election you want on the internet. Even if I think you're stupid about it, you should be able to do it, in my opinion. So for me, this is too far.
Similar.
Yeah.
Like I think the election is probably like in Brazil. I know the election in 2020 was real too, but like the election in Brazil is like probably
You can run
like
the
real at this point after it's been like evaluated by independent parties. But like people should still have the right to like cast doubt on it if they want. Like if it is what they believe.
Yeah, as long as they don't act on it or like actually commit any
If
acts of
only don't incite shit like, oh, let's burn down Lula's home or whatever. The fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's also the obvious double standard, right? Because in 2000, if you wanted to doubt the integrity of that election, because Al Gore filed his lawsuits and he waited up until middle of December to concede. If you wanted to cast doubt on that election, no problem. Go ahead. No one cared, right? Now, to be fair, Al Gore did what Trump should have done, because when his time ran out, in the final hour, Al Gore said, listen, I disagree with the courts, but I accept their result because it is more important to keep the country together. And that actually is true. And that's probably what Trump should have done. As Attorney General Barr was looking into it and he found no evidence, and the FBI found no evidence, and these Republican judges, they found no standing. Some of them found no standing. Some of them found no evidence, depending on which case we're talking about. There's many cases. But basically, it turned out to all just be bullshit. Just smoke and no fire. And the responsible thing for Trump to have done would have been probably around the same time that Al Gore did it, was to concede. That's what he should have done.
Yeah.
But he didn't. However, at the same time, I'm sure you guys accidentally heard that little clip there in the background, or at least the chat did. I pulled this up. Okay, I'm gonna make a video on this at some point because I find it to be ridiculous. All right, so you have this video. Went viral on Twitter. It's reposted on YouTube, and it's 10 minutes of Democrats denying election results. We're not going to watch all 10 minutes, but we will watch about 1 minute of it. Okay, just real quick here. And I think you guys, you two should be able to hear this. So we'll just watch this. Here we go.
You can run the best campaign. You can even become the nominee, and you can have the election stolen from you.
Run the best campaign. That's
How can you
debatable.
rule a Russian interference?
That's a
what
real
I'm
thing.
scared about in 2020.
But rightly.
Because I think he's an illegitimate president that didn't really win. So how do you fight against that in 2020?
You are absolutely right.
He's an illegitimate president in my mind.
Could you be my vice presidential candidate? Folks, look, I absolutely agree.
Trump didn't actually win the election in 2016. He lost the election, and he was put in office because the Russians interfered.
Trump knows he's an illegitimate president.
The president-elect, although legally elected, is not legitimate.
I don't see this president-elect as a legitimate president.
You said you believe that Russia's interference altered the outcome of the election.
I do. We have a president who, if in fact it is proven, has been assisted by the Russians and may in fact not be a legitimate president.
The one thing that Trump is fearful of when it comes to his being president is that finally we will see how illegitimate his victory actually was.
I have an objection.
I object to the 15 votes from the state of North Carolina. I object because people are horrified.
He's an illegitimate president.
Do you believe Trump is a legitimate president?
What I believe is that there's no question that the outcome of this election was affected by the Russian interference.
But there absolutely is a cloud of illegitimacy.
So that
Okay, we don't need to keep going through this whole thing, but the point is,
Yeah, the point is that the Democrats have very, very been salty and pretty much just denied the election results for like 4 straight years after.
it's not
Why?
just saltiness. It's the fact that there is an obvious double standard about who gets to deny what elections. Because
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's their right to deny it. It's just, don't censor it because don't censor the other guys if they deny it then. Like,
Exactly.
it's not that difficult.
exactly.
It's gonna seem very awkward. Although, then again, maybe not because people have like notoriously low attention spans.
Mhm.
When,
That's true.
When the next election comes, like
Some-
the left side loses.
Someone in the
Like-
chat says Mr. Miyagi ain't looking so good. But yes, you're completely right, Lilith. The issue ultimately is if you took this exact same rhetoric and said it about 2020, you would lose your YouTube channel, you would lose your Twitter account, you would be kicked off the internet. And it's ridiculous because here they are saying it about 2016. And you
And
can't
I mean, what? Sorry, yeah.
well, at the same time, yes, 2020, the rhetoric of 2020 led to January 6th, which maybe it's not a uniquely bad event because there have been other times that protests have stormed the Capitol, believe it or not, like the Black Panthers in 1986. Other groups have done this sort of thing. But like, it was a bad event, that's for sure. However, you had 4 years of riots and protests from Antifa and Black Lives Matter in the United States. And it was at least partially spurred on by rhetoric coming out of Democrats. So, one big event versus 4 years of small events. What's really worse? I don't know, but they're both really bad. And the idea that one of them is allowed and one of them isn't allowed, just based on the fact that it might have caused some damage. Well, so did the other guys. This is a ridiculous double standard. And I don't see how, even if we accept that even if we say January 6th was uniquely bad, I still don't understand how people can hold this double standard. And because it's double standard. Like, clearly it's just, I want my team to be able to deny election results when it suits them. I want them to be able to riot. I want them to be able to attack people in the street. And I don't want you to be able to go back and do the same thing. It's ridiculous in my opinion.
And what's surprising about this is that it's how far-reaching this is. Like in Brazil, we have that too. Like we have a lot of double standards here when it comes to the left and the right. Even though we have a more similar to the Canadian election system, where we have more parties than the two parties.
Yep.
We have way more parties actually. But like we do have a lot of the same shit happening all the time, and it's really bad.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Brian H. in the chat. It's politics, Kev. We get it. This isn't your wheelhouse. You have very little clue about U.S. politics. No. I get it. I'm saying I disagree. That's what I'm saying here. I'm saying that I disagree with how this is rolling out, and I think it's ridiculous how it's rolling out. That's what I'm saying.
The thing is, like, would YouTube have gone and so quickly, by the way, like gone and said you can't deny the election results if Bolsonaro had won?
Yeah.
Like
if Bolsonaro won
what,
and Lewis lost, it would YouTube would have
and
been
people are
like,
calling shenanigans to that. Would they have been like, oh, you can't question results. It's been verified by a third party. It's
probably
like,
not, to be honest. No, I don't think so. And then of course, like I know that Sargon, for example, on his channel, he's making comparisons with Ukraine. You know, there are elections coming out of the breakaway regions of Ukraine, right? And they're saying they want to join Russia. Why can you denounce those elections as being fake? I mean, they are fake, obviously, but we're talking about what you're allowed to say on YouTube, right? Like, why is it that you can denounce those elections but not these ones? And the answer seems to be because YouTube is supporting the Ukrainians and YouTube is not with Bolsonaro. Like, they don't seem to be aiming towards any sort of universal truth when they do this sort of thing.
Speaking of Ukraine, though, it's I recently saw like on Russian message boards, like they've been questioning like the 78% of Ukrainians voted to join Russia in Kherson, and they're questioning like, is this real? Is this really real? After all these videos coming out of like Ukrainian soldiers being like welcomed and swarmed with hugs and cheers after it's after Kherson's have been liberated.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, Lilith, you playing a video game? I hear the key clicks.
Nah, I'm doing research.
Are you playing a video game?
I wish. Maybe later though. Maybe later when the stream is winding down.
So Blue Yed asks, I honestly have zero idea about Brazilian elections. All I know about Brazil is big-titted girls, drugs, crime, and femboys. And, you know, fair enough, right? You care to explain what the whoop is at the moment for the midwits like me? Well, I mean, first of all, there's that like really common 4chan copy pasta where like the roided out guy is on the motorcycle and he has like his trans girlfriend in the back seat and he keeps showing up.
Actually, I don't know if people recognize it. Like, we could probably pull it up.
When you pull it up, okay. Let me see if I have it still. Hold on.
It was really funny because I think you got the update from when I posted it recently.
Oh yeah, there was an update to it.
Yeah, and people were like, "Oh, that's Toguro. That's Sayuri. That's his account. He's active. They broke up and whatever. Like they were like dumping all the history between the two.
Yeah,
it was pretty funny.
Okay, so here it is. There's this guy, right? He's posting on 4chan from Brazil, and this is him and his GF, right? And he's just like, I'm roided, Free Fire hoodie, no headlights, riding in the favela, tranny in the back seat. Such is the life of the Brazilian. And I'm supposed to be envious of the first world? Because I'm not. And it's like, Jesus, what a fucking Chad. He's like, I don't give a shit. I will wear the pink shorts, no problem. And then like he posted a sequel.
It's a vibe, you know.
He posted the sequel later, and here's the sequel. and he's like, new, better bike, even more roided, the same tranny in the back, true love is real. It's like, should I still envy the first world? It's like, damn, dude, your life is actually getting better.
Got much better.
He has a Camaro on the background.
Yeah, he's getting on in life. Look at this guy go.
Dude, this guy is so jacked. I was actually in awe. Like I didn't believe that, but they are both public figures. So
are they like Brazilian YouTubers or something?
No, like Sayuri is a porn actress. She doesn't do porn, but she's like an Instagram model. And Toguro is like a bodybuilder / influencer, I would say.
Right.
But like he's jacked. Just Google Brazilian Toguro. You see, it's insane.
So
he's really roided.
To be fair, the only thing I knew about Brazil was this, and then the fact that Twilight Twilight had a scene there at one point, and also I think like
I
yeah
also
okay.
knew Brazil from the dancing dog one.
Mm.
The guy in a dancing dog and
When I
the
was
Brazilian flag in the background.
when I was like much younger, we're talking like a long time ago.
Oh, that and the big Jesus statue.
I don't remember much of it, but there was like a family trip to Rio, but I don't remember fucking anything of that, man. So I don't fucking know anything about Brazil.
You remember the big Jesus statue?
The big yes, I do that. Hey, wait, didn't they like turn the big Jesus statue into like a Wi-Fi antenna so that everyone in the area can get internet?
Oh my god, I don't know that actually.
I thought I heard that. Yeah.
Jesus
It's
blesses
5G
you with fast
Jesus.
connection.
Yeah.
It's a 5 Jesus.
A 5 Jesus. So, to talk about what we're actually talking about here. Her name's Sayuri, apparently.
Yeah, Sayuri Matar.
Yep. So, Brazil. In 20
Yeah.
Here. I pulled up at least a TLDR of what's going on here, okay? So, in 2018, Bolsonaro, who was a right-wing candidate, he was running for re-election, and he got stabbed. And I recall leftists back in 2018 being very happy this was the case, that their political opponent got stabbed on the campaign trail. Which I was like, wait, what? What the fuck? Like, this was back when I still held up some hope that the left might be, decent.
And to be fair, I think that's what actually galvanized the support behind Bolsonaro in that time.
Yeah.
Like, he did not have as much support as he did after the stabbing. It was freaking insane to see. Like, it was crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm. So, Bolsonaro, he is more... Come on. Actually, you will know this more than me. I'm just describing from an outsider's point of view. So feel free to correct me on this, Val. But from what I understand, from just watching some of the things that he's done, is that he's more conservative. He's more even libertarian, though, as well, because he has some I don't care, do what you want to do kind of policies. He is often reported on as being a far-right, populist, Trump-style guy, which is not completely accurate, but is also not completely inaccurate either, because he definitely shoots from the hip, and he definitely has a cult of popularity, and he has no problem saying his mind.
Definitely do a populist thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did say a lot of stuff, very, very Trump reminiscent stuff. Like, I don't think I remember the exact words, but he used to say things against being gay and whatnot. And like, just to situate people, Brazil is a very religious country. Like, it's probably one of the biggest parts of Brazil is that we have a huge religious population. So if you go with the narrative that you support the family and you support you believe in God, and his slogan was what was it? It was Brazil above, and God above everything else. So he really did run with the whole thing, with the whole religion thing, which is what moves Brazil basically.
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't like at the same time. In terms of economics, he was still in favor of liberalizing the economy. Like he wasn't a socialist, but he also wasn't somebody who was like shutting out the economy from trade or anything like that. So he's like somewhat Trumpian, but also economically somewhat like a neolib.
Yeah, and huge anti-China, like huge anti-China.
That sounds pretty base, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't like it either. So
I like
that.
Yeah. So like, yeah, he, America First is going to be very similar to Brazil First in terms of like it's similar ideas, right? Like very, very much like I am elected to represent this population, so therefore my concerns should be first about this population, and that's like not an unreasonable way to look at politics because that's how everyone looks at politics, really. Just no one likes to say it. But yeah, he had like his victory speech, and this is his victory speech for back when he won, 4 years ago. And I'll just play like 30 seconds of it because I think there's something at the start here I wanted to talk about.
The prayers of women and children and entire families in the face of the threat of continuing along a road the Brazilians don't want. They want to place Brazil above all those people. So I ask you to be witnesses of the fact that the new government will guarantee the construction of democracy and liberty. It's a promise. It's not the promise of a party. It's an oath, a sacred oath. Freedom will liberate this country. Freedom will turn us into a great nation. The truth will shine and will guide us as it has guided us all along and will continue to guide us. What has happened
now? The thing with Bolsonaro is that he had some more libertarian policies, which some people definitely liked, but also he was very what do we want to say here? He didn't outright support the old military dictatorship, but he spoke of it like kind of fondly sometimes. Is that about right?
Yeah.
Spoke about it fondly, and he's also made comments about supporting torture, I believe. Was
Yeah,
one
he
of the
did.
big things
He
that people
did
talked about.
express some support towards the Pinochet ideology as well, which is kind of like I really don't like the history of the military dictatorship here because it's too recent. So like I'm sure we'll get there, but like yeah, whenever you push for the military here in Brazil, it always comes with the baggage of the military dictatorship, and people kind of it's uneasy for most people,
Yeah, I know what you mean. And then
He's another thing I remember him being very famously saying though. That's not related to military thing. Was he pulled a Sargon, didn't he?
What do you mean?
Well, you know about this? Well, there was like this I think like this woman accusing her of like sorry, this woman accusing him of basically like saying like calling him a rapist or something, and he said I wouldn't even rape you. You don't deserve it.
Oh
Based. Based. Now there's a Giga Chad. I would vote for him.
Jesus, Dev.
Well, yeah. Listen, he's saying he's not a rapist, right?
He pulled a. I think that was the context or something.
Yeah. How could you say it's bad if he's saying he's not a rapist? If he's saying like, hold on, if he's saying like I wouldn't rape you, isn't that like a good thing?
I guess.
Yes. And well, he's saying you don't deserve the rape.
You know what? I will give anyone that uses that
so I can
props.
Sort of get why people would be a bit upset.
Imagine turning raping
I just
someone
think it's
into
funny.
an actual offense. Like that's I'll give it props. Okay.
Yeah, because for those of you who don't know, Sargon did say that about MP Jess Phillips. Like, was 2017? It was a long time ago. Yeah, where like, so like Jess Phillips was saying like all these people were threatening me with rape, and Sargon just said I wouldn't even rape you. And it's like, well, but then here's the thing.
It's definitely better than saying I would rape you.
Fucking hell. Okay. So anyway, wait, someone wants me to play the whole victory. I don't know about that. Like, this is kind of old news, isn't it? Like, nothing really interesting in here, from what I can remember.
Yeah, I mean, like he talks a lot about keeping Brazil together as like a people, and imagine it's a very nationalism through line. His electoral speech, it was very nationalist, and then he moved a little bit into the religion part, and they prayed together, as I remember correctly. He prayed with the entire public that was there. And it was kind of wholesome, to be honest, not gonna lie. Like I'm agnostic, so I kind of go in and out of the whole religion sphere, but it was kind of wholesome. Like most of the stuff that goes around Bolsonaro is blown out of proportion by media, and just like Trump back
Yeah.
when he was in power, like anything that he said was twisted or turned up to 11 for headlines, and it was constant. It was kind of annoying.
Yeah. And the worst part about that is that when the legitimate criticism actually does come along, now suddenly you like good luck getting anybody to listen to you because you've been crying wolf for like 4 fucking years, right?
Yeah.
So good luck as soon as he actually does something wrong and you have to criticize him. You got to be like, "Oh, well, now I actually mean it, guys. We were having fun before, but now I actually mean it." And it's like, all right, dude.
Or as in true Brazilian media fashion, they will just make it worse. Like the claim just gets worse. That
Yeah.
happens a lot here too.
So here's a few things that I grabbed from the Bolsonaro era real quick. So firstly, he was criticized by the mainstream media for firing left-wing civil servants as soon as he took office, and he said he was cleaning house in the administration. Now, fair enough, no one likes losing their job, but like every government in every country does this sort of thing. It's not like it's not necessarily a nepotism or corruption thing. It's like now you have new people running because you won the election thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, new administration means new people running.
Yes.
It's like that's why we got the Obama administration, the Bush administration, the Trump administration, now the Biden administration.
Yeah.
But see,
especially to a country that is as federalized as Brazil is, like we don't have the separation from the federal and the states as the United States have. Like we have some separation, but it's not that big.
Mm-hmm. But then like, look at how the media portrayed it. Yeah, Bolsonaro has launched a purge of left-wing government officials. It's like, is he fucking shooting them in the back of the head?
Yeah, is he killing them?
Or are they just getting?
Makes it sound like they're killing them.
Or is he? Or like, I'm pretty sure they just had to find a new job. Like, come on, guys, it's a bit much. All right. Now, to be fair, if you want to know why people might want to vote for someone like Bolsonaro, you have stuff like this. Brazil breaks its own record for number of murders in a single year as deaths hit 63,000 people. So, like, what I've noticed is that generally you can kind of see this pretty much across the entire world. If a society becomes more violent and more lawless, they are more likely to vote in right-leaning candidates because those candidates are the tough-on-crime ones. Meanwhile,
yeah, they're on the promise to get crime under control.
Yeah, and on the left, there's a sense of permissibility on the left where it's like, oh well, no, for the criminals it's not their fault, and oh they should just be able to lie in the street and shoot up heroin and like destabilize the entire society. Oh, it's not their fault if they were a rapist because they were abused by somebody when they were younger. They need therapy. And then the ultimate black pill end result of that logic are the people who are like pro pedophile because it's just their sexuality, right? So there is like a permissiveness of crime. There's also like not just a social component, but a political component. And the political component is the smash the state, fuck the cops, that sort of thing that exists on the left as well. So what tends to happen is that, left-wing governments might have some virtues they can bring to the table, but at the same time, crime generally goes up. And then when crime goes up, your average person who just wants to feel safe again and wants to, their house to stop getting burglarized and to stop walking over drug users in the street on their way to work, they're going to vote right wing. And so when you see a headline like this in a country, it pretty much means that a right wing government is going to come to power. Same thing happened in Italy, right? Like Italy voted in, what's her name? specifically because of all the problems of Italy right now.
Oh, yeah, and it's funny that even like the countries that have this problem usually have zero tolerance to guns and whatnot. So like it's very interesting to see it happen because Brazil is really bad for guns. Like if you want to have a firearm for self-protection, you will spend at least 5 to 10,000 reais, which would go like $2,000-3,000, I think. So it's very expensive. It's very time demanding, and most people just don't have that money. Like $10,000 every month is a lot of money.
Yep.
Like for reference, I survive with like 1,500 every month, and I barely do, but I do.
Yeah. So this sort of when this happens in that country, you can expect to see a more right-leaning government come to power in the next election. And of course,
versus like people being in poverty would be more likely to vote for a left-wing government.
Sometimes, yeah.
And
I think
yeah.
actually what I mean, that's part of it, but I think what really brings in a left-wing government is when like the crime problems are solved, but now it's like, well, we want a social safety net, which is like the next level of after the crime problems are solved. But the problem is that those two things they kind of butt heads with each other, because a society with a huge social safety net might actually be a society that is more permissive of people who are like lounging around in the street shooting up heroin, right? Because they're on the social safety net. So it's a difficult balance. It seems like you can't really have both at all times, and people's people's views go back and forth.
We have socialized healthcare here in Brazil, and we don't have a lot of money like to support it. So the taxes just go up insanely. Like income tax is around the 35 to 40%. It's crazy, and we are taxed in almost everything. So we are taxed on purchase like everyone else, but it's not like descripted in the price like in the US, where you see the actual value and then the tax. Here it's just one price and you pay for it and that's it. Like you don't even know you're paying. So import taxes are insane. Like for any gamer that wants to build a computer here in Brazil, they are absolutely fucked because they will pay twice the price, and like I mean literally twice the price, because if you're paying like $600.
Really the most oppressed minority once again.
It's like if you're paying $600 for a GPU, you're paying $1,200 here in Brazil. Like it's that crazy. Taxation is crazy here. But we have all the social programs and all the handouts and all things that help everyone, and everyone's technically happy, I guess.
Technically happy, the best kind of happy. Here, let me continue though, because for example, the West criticized this a whole bunch. Brazil's far-right president targets minorities on his first day of office. The former army captain issues orders targeting indigenous groups, descendants of slaves, and the LGBT community. So, just out of curiosity, as a member of the LGBT community, Val, were you targeted at all in the past 4 years?
It comes and goes actually. Like Brazil we export a very progressive sort of optics to the world. But most people, as I said, they are very religious, and it's very difficult for people to accept, but nobody expresses it, if that makes sense. Like it's very hard for someone to actually come to your face and say like some very horrifying things, but they are thinking it, or they are judging or whatever. Like that's it. We don't have the thought control, but you know what I mean. Like you can't control that.
So I guess
anything policy-wise though.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's a big no. If you discriminate on the basis of anything that has to do with like race, sexual orientation, religion, you are absolutely fucked, and you can get processes that go like crazy on the ballparks of 100,000 Brazilian reais.
Did Bolsonaro try to dismantle any of those laws while he was in office, or did he just leave them alone?
I don't remember. He didn't change anything. Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
no.
So now I guess just out of curiosity, like so if you were, let's say, walking around the city holding hands with your gay partner, you wouldn't have like anyone come up and like assault you then, like in Russia. That happens in Russia kind of often, but that wouldn't happen in Brazil.
No. Actually, before Bolsonaro, there was a few cases here and there of people, at least in my city, which is one of the biggest here in Brazil. But at least here, we had a few cases where people were attacked, assaulted for being gay or whatever. But no, I don't think during the Bolsonaro thing it changed. It probably still happened because you can't just magically disappear with these.
Yeah.
But it didn't change. It didn't change.
Now, so you live in a city. Do you know if it's different in the countryside? Like if you were to go out to some small town in the middle of nowhere, would it be much more conservative there? And maybe then you'd see like gay people or minorities targeted, or do you know?
Yeah, I would just feel safe going to like the countryside for like say vacation or whatever.
Yeah, no, okay, so Brazilian countryside is a little bit different from what we know as the countryside in the US. Like it's a lot poorer. So like the farmers, they have a lot of money, but they also spend a lot of money. So it's very well balanced. But yeah, if you go far enough into the countryside, you will find someone that is a piece of shit, which you will find anywhere, right? And
Yep.
I was actually not born here
Yeah.
where I live. I was born in Mato Grosso do Sul, which is almost indigenous, and it's ruled. It's like a different country within Brazil because it's ruled by the farm, not the farm owners. I don't know the word to describe it, but it's like they are sheriffs, but not sheriffs because they become mayor and they have so much influence, like financial influence in the country, not the country, sorry, the state, that they just get elected, and it's just a fight between them.
Do you mean maybe governors?
I guess.
Well, what is their jurisdiction? Is it like a police department? Is it just a small town? Is it like a district? Like how much range does their influence have?
Okay, so imagine so the guy is like a farm a magnate. He's like super powerful within the town. He makes all the produce that is sold, and he's probably one of the richest persons in that town. So he is able to levy that into political power and get into power. And like since when you go to the outskirts, like to the areas that nobody talks about in Brazil, like that's where you'll find guns and people actually enforcing some sort of frontier-like law, so to speak. Does that
Right.
make sense? It's
Yeah.
very weird. I'm trying my best here, but it's
Well,
very weird.
what is the Portuguese word for what you're saying?
They are coronéis.
Okay. Yeah, I could here. Can you type that in the chat? I'll just like Google Translate that shit and see.
Hold on. I
Sure.
was in the wrong chat.
Okay.
But that's the funny part. They are not affiliated to like that word. I think it means military, but they are not affiliated with the military. They're just like really freaking powerful within the town. Like insanely powerful.
So they're like
It sounds. You know what it
local
sounds
militias
like?
then, and probably.
It sounds like the Spanish patron.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, someone was saying in chat that was a baron.
Yeah.
That's more like what I think represents what I'm trying to say. It's very weird because it's like they have a lot of power. It's crazy. I can't even explain, like put into words how much power they have within that town.
I know
To the
in
point that-
Mexico what you have is like you're gonna have the patron's family will run the biggest business in a small town, but he will also basically be the one that you go to if you want his support to obtain political power. So he won't be the mayor of the town, but if you want everyone to vote for you, you got to have his blessing first.
Yeah, sort of like that actually. That makes a lot of sense. But
Yeah.
that like they're not criminals, they're just like really powerful, I guess.
Yeah, they're like so. From what I understand, in terms of Mexico, how it happened was you had a bunch of frontier border towns with no government influence whatsoever. So the little towns that sprung up, they sprung up around the first businesses. So you had some guy who owned some land and he made a mine. Okay, so he builds his mine, he hires workers, and the town springs up as a camp around the mine. However, he's like he's the owner of the mine, but he's not the political leader. And then but everyone looks to him because he's the most powerful person in the town. So he ends up funding, schools, and he funds,
He's the guy.
yeah, social services, right? So he's kind of just the guy that everyone can count on. And so when these places finally did have a state apparatus come in, and they had democracy come in to these locations, like the actual common people, they valued the opinion more so than the elected leadership. They valued the opinion of the family that had established the town. And that's kind of how it worked in Mexico.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah. So the guy holds insane political power and sort of a stronghold, but not necessarily in the public eye. It's just like behind the curtains. Or sometimes in front of the curtains because,
Yeah, I know
Don't
what you're
these
talking about.
people usually run for office too, though? So
At least in Mexico, they don't run for office because they have enough of their hands full maintaining their business. They just basically endorse a candidate that they like, and then that candidate usually wins.
Yeah, so that's the difference then.
Oh, what's
Because
the
they do go for office for sure. Because like
okay.
Dorados, where I was born, was I don't know, freaking 3-4 terms into some guys. One of these guys' mandate. So yeah, they do run for office, and usually they win and stay for long ass time.
Yep, fair enough. Continuing on, what was this? Right, this is just more of the indigenous. Okay, that's we're not going to talk about that, right? And yeah, so this is what I mean when people were saying that Bolsonaro was like the Brazilian Trump. And let's just listen to this a bit, because he definitely sounds Trumpian when you listen to him here. You guys can read the subtitles too, if you can't understand.
Daqui a pouco falar que é direito dos pedófilos não serem molestados quando estiverem fazendo os seus atos. Nós temos não tem nada diferente. Maioria é uma coisa, minoria é outra. Minoria tem que se calar, circunvar a maioria. Acabou. Eu quero respeitar a maioria e não a minoria, você está entendendo? Olha, quando eu falo em pena de morte, é que uma minoria de marginais aterrorizam a maioria de pessoas decentes. Quando se fala em menor vagabundo, como esse que foi preso lá no Porto, Rio de Janeiro, você tem que ter uma política para aprisionar esses caras, buscar a redução da maioridade penal e não defender esses marginais como se fossem excluídos da sociedade. Não são excluídos, são vagabundos, que devem ter um tratamento adequado. A minha comissão não vai ter espaço para defender esse tipo de minoria.
Então você já é o presidente, é isso?
Não vou. Quem decide a presidência não é a presidência não é o presidente da casa. Quem decide é o líder do respectivo partido. E o Eduardo da Fonte garantiu, caso caiba ao meu partido, eu seria o candidato do mesmo.
Deputado, quais outros temas o senhor pretende defender?
Olha só, buscar a redução da maioridade penal, uma política de planejamento familiar, buscar uma maneira de dizer...
Just quickly about that crime stuff at the start, where he's just very much like he is going to be tough on crime, it sounds like, because he's like, listen, the majority of people are decent people. You have a minority that are out here doing terrible things, and we are going to stop this because and no, we shouldn't care too much about criminals' rights because they are the minority, not the majority. And it's like, Jesus, that sounds a bit extreme. But at the same time, when you have like such a crime-riddled country, I kind of understand the point.
Yeah, and
But,
a lot of the
like,
crime is
also,
done by
like,
young people.
how much did crime drop during his presidency? Though
I
that's
don't know.
what I want to know.
Let's look it up. That's probably pretty easily available.
You should probably look the 2 first years because then it's just COVID, and
COVID was different.
Yeah. I mean, can you even account for that? Because the
Well, here
crime
we
will
go.
drop because of COVID, if you think about it.
Well, this is from before COVID hit Brazil. Oh, you guys can't see that, can you? Okay, hold on. Okay, just wait. I gotta take off the full screen here. God damn it. Okay, hold on. Okay.
I don't know what it is like in the South America, but in America, a lot of those tough on crime policies, like, they don't really do all that much to stem the.
Well, in Brazil, we got Brazil homicides fall to lowest level in at least 12 years.
But
this is from February 14th, 2020. So 2 years into Bolsonaro's presidency, Brazil homicides fall to lowest level in 12 years. I mean, that's success. He's kinda,
I mean, it worked. No, it worked. Like his stance on crime did work, I think. Yeah. It's like, as I said, Brazil doesn't have a lot of guns, so the guns that the criminals have are fairly easy to take out of the street if you go in with force. And like Brazilian police is very militarized because that's why we have the military police, which is very common here. Like it's no surprise to see a military police car just standing on gas station and whatnot. And we have the civil police, and the military police is actually really, really well trained. Like they are quasi freaking Terminators when it comes to these to the training, because they have to go up to the favelas, and they have to bring the guys down. And so like if you watched the Elite Troop movie, that's a little bit exaggerated because it's a movie, but that's basically the sort of training that these guys go through. So like, yeah, they are kind of violent, but at the other hand, so are the criminals. So what can you really do? Like, will you talk to the criminals?
Please stop forming gangs and shooting everyone up.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
and like,
it's bad.
I sorry, Lilith. Like, I just want to defend the people from the favelas, because like, to their defense, they do protect the favelas. Okay, so they aren't all horrifying evil people. There are very good, very, very good people in the favelas. Very good people. But they do freaking fund the crime in most of the cities. So what can you do, really?
Yeah. So we saw earlier, where was it? Let me just quickly. Yeah, so the record number was 63,880 in this article. And here, the number's down to 41,000 in 2 years. Down 19% from the prior year. And it's the least number of homicides since 2007, when the Violence Monitor Index was launched. So Bolsonaro took this as a big win. And to be fair, it sounds like a big win. I guess the argument really does come down to like how much money do you want to spend on your police? How militarized do you want your police force to be? And sometimes if you're in a very violent country, maybe you have to do that, Maybe you have to spend a lot of money on your cops.
Yeah.
One of the things that I talk a lot about
like I said, like
is
go ahead. Like I said, like the tough on crime stuff might not always work in America, but in different countries it could be different depending on what policies you institute.
Yeah. So for example, I know in New York, like stop and frisk didn't really work, right? But like there are other tough on crime policies that sometimes do work. It really just depends on what we're talking about.
Then like my opinion on all of this is that all of it will go down drastically if we just legalize the freaking like recreational pot. Just do that.
Make everyone
Like,
high so no one's fighting anymore.
No, it's like you have no idea how freaking insane the traffic is here. Like for pot, you really do need to traffic like any other substance.
Really?
Yeah, it's that crazy. Like you have a lot of kids that get into this because they are used as mule to move the product up and down the favela. So just decriminalize. It doesn't even need to be like free for all, but like decriminalize it just a little bit. Let's go, baby steps, please. The war on drugs is horrifying here. Horrifying. I wish we didn't have it.
Even more so than the United States, you think?
Oh, 100%. What do you think funds the insane armaments that the people in the favelas have? It's
Yeah, fair
drugs.
enough.
Yeah. Without that, they wouldn't have the funds to acquire guns. Then maybe the gun control would work. Like I don't like gun control. I'm a libertarian. Okay, I like people doing their own things and being happy. And like if you're an adult and you consented, you do you. That's all.
Nice.
But like, come on.
Yeah, and it sounds like by making the drugs illegal, even something as small as weed, the kids get introduced to like the crime syndicates at a younger age and get used by them, and they get involved, and it follows them their whole life because after you get into a life of crime, it's really hard to get out.
Yeah. So I am see, first of all, I'm not a libertarian. And I am sympathetic to that point of view from libertarians, but there is, I think, a really strong problem with it. And I like to express it in meme formats. Let me just bring it up here. And the meme, I'm sure you've all seen this comic, where you have a guy hooked into Harry Potter movies, might as well make it Marvel nowadays. Marvel movies and porn, wine, heroin, and the auto masturbator, and he's just lying there enjoying himself. And then this second guy says, this is kind of weird. And then this third person says, oh my God, let people enjoy things. So the problem with the whole, like, you consented, therefore just do whatever you want as long as you consent. Like, there has to be some sort of limiting principle on the idea that you should just leave people alone to destroy themselves. Because if you have a society that is very permissive of victimless self-destruction, you completely shatter your social fabric. And that's why you see, like, in San Francisco, you see just like tons of people, shitting on the street and walking around high out of their mind. They're lying around in like the gutter with needles hanging out of their arm. There was that one viral video that like rightoids were posting last week of like a guy just lying on the sidewalk masturbating. Like, if you're just, as long as you consent, we can be permissive of everything.
It's just like cyberpunk.
Yeah, like the idea that we should be just permissive of everything as long as people consent to it. I don't know if that's necessarily true, because you can be permissive of some things that are really bad for you. And I mean, like, do you have the right to destroy yourself? Technically, yes, but it's bad if you do. It's still bad if society lets you. Like, there should be some sort of limiting principle on this, I think.
The thing is, well, I can acknowledge that those things are bad. I think having like a man with a gun coming up to people and say, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do, is arguably even more destructive. Because, like,
unless they vote for it,
we can have the bad things happening, but still acknowledge that they're bad.
Well,
like,
hold on though, Lilith,
we're not going
because
to go to the people shooting up heroin and then say, oh, that's a good thing, you should do that and never change yourself. I think there's like a good degree of separation between that and having,
I think that's what makes
that's
what makes me small L libertarian instead of a big L libertarian. Like I really agree with that. Like there's a limit. Everything has a limit, but like, I mean,
I agree.
Don't
I agree
go
with that.
around fucking
should be a
killing
limit.
people, Like, don't go around
Yeah.
injecting heroin or sniffing heroin or whatever. Like, just don't do that. Do it in your house and kill yourself there in a video game. Sorry.
In a video game, Minecraft.
I don't know. It just seems to be the case that, like, if you get too permissive, you kind of destroy your society. And so you have to have somebody eventually show up with a gun and say, no, there are some things you can't do. You know, there are some things you just, you can't lie in the middle of the street and masturbate. No, sorry. We're going to have to arrest you for this one. Like, there are limits here. You know what I mean?
And in that case, I think
I don't think like public masturbation is suddenly legal though.
Yeah, you're exposing other people to your stuff. So as soon as your right infringes upon any
others.
other person,
Mhm.
you're wrong. But if you're doing it inside your home, do whatever you want. Just don't explode the freaking building, and we'll be good.
Well, I guess the issue is, like, everyone has a different opinion on what imposing other people's rights are. Because, for example, some people might say, "Oh, I see two gay guys over there kissing, and I don't want to look at that." And they're not doing it privately; they are doing it in public. So now my rights are being infringed because I didn't consent to see this public display of affection. So there's like, I don't know. It seems like a lot of this conversation can't really be handled by a pure ideology. It has to be just like socially
I mean, if
socially
you're not eating
negotiated.
the other
You know?
person, like if you're not eating the other person out in the street in front of a bunch of people, I think that's fine. Because I do think there is a problem with the more uptight conservatives that
Mhm.
they really don't like this sort of display of affection, which I don't agree with. Like if you're just giving a little peck on the lips, that's fine. If you're just showing some affection, that's fine. Nobody is being harmed by it.
No, see,
at
I
all.
agree with you, right? I agree with you. It's just that the more that I read like philosophy on this sort of stuff, the more that I realize is that like everyone's ideas on these kind of questions, they're ultimately arbitrary and they're just based off of your moral foundations. And so you get to a point where, like, you know, everyone thinks that they're doing the right thing. And if you point out to them bad consequences of their actions, it doesn't matter because they think those consequences are good. Like I always use the example of here in the West, you know, we're a liberal society. We don't just kill gay people for no reason because we think that's bad. However, you go to like, if you go over to assuming that ISIS still existed, go over to ISIS, they're throwing gay people off the rooftops. And it's like, well, that's bad. You're killing them. And they say, yeah, but we think killing them is good. So before you can do any sort of moral calculation on any topic, that already presupposes a certain amount of normativity where you're already accepting that there can be good and bad answers and that you should move towards what you think are good answers. But somebody else just might not agree with you. And so
and
that's
to be fair, the meme is not saying it outright like 1994 sort of man on screen, like don't do this. It's just saying, yeah, it's kind of weird.
Because it is kind of weird, yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
Yeah. So it's a more complicated. I think this conversation might be more complicated than libertarians give it credit for, because it's not all just if you consent, do whatever you want. It's like, well, no, there's more to it than that. Like, we should be maybe discussing some
something like
limits.
public masturbation, you involve other people with you by subjecting them to it. But something like just kissing, it's not a sexual act. If it's okay for straight people to kiss in public, then you know.
I don't even think it's that. Like, imagine if, like, here in Brazil, we have, especially here in São Paulo, we have a lot of problems with people fucking in the metro lines, the subway lines, and there are cameras and everywhere, and like you can find right now if you Google like people fucking in the fucking subway lines. Why?
So wait, have you gone on the subway and just seen people having sex before?
I was walking in the biggest avenue here in São Paulo, and I saw two homeless people fucking like badass in my face. It's bad. It's sometimes I can't believe the shit that happens in this country.
Where else are they gonna fuck?
Well, so there was like, oh god, there was a Reddit story recently of a guy who was like walking around San Francisco, and as he like walked by an alleyway, he saw like one homeless dude fucking another homeless dude in the ass, and the second homeless dude was fucking a dog.
No.
And the three of them were just the two homeless dudes and their dog, and they were just fucking in the alleyway. And it's like, all right, guys.
No, to the wall with this one.
Once you evolve an animal, and it's obviously
Yeah,
going
no,
too
to
far.
the wall.
Lilith, you're a fucking furry. What do you mean?
Not even in the same ballpark. Furries.
Okay.
No, actively fucking a dog.
There are some
Street,
zoophile furries, but like
that's firing squad.
But like there are also like furries that are just like, fuck these guys, and I hope that's becoming more often. I haven't been a part of the community in like forever. I just like the art.
I just like the porn. That's all it is.
Yeah, I just like the porn, and I just like the big tittied back girls.
So I guess what I would say then is something like, if you care about hold on. It makes sense surface level to say, oh, well, if, there's a difference between masturbation or public sex and regular public displays of affection. Or you shouldn't differentiate between, let's say, a straight person kissing another straight person or a gay person kissing another gay person. And I agree with those statements, but they are still ultimately arbitrary, because you could follow a moral system where it's completely fine for straight people to have public displays of affection and gay people not to. And for your moral system, it will be something like, I don't care about the equivalence between these two different groups because they are different groups and I'm going to treat them differently. So like, it's like I said, when you're making any sort of moral judgment, it already presupposes that your morality is the correct morality. And that's not necessarily the case, and not everyone's going to view it that way, So it's why I think these things are much more of a negotiation. But anyway, this is like more of a philosophy discussion than a politics discussion. After this,
huge tangent.
Yeah, it's always fun though. After this, hold on a second, real quick.
I'm gonna put my drink back in the freezer. A second.
Oh, this was one of those things that Bolsonaro said that I know made him very unpopular in the West when he said in English on Twitter, "One of our strategies to get Brazil to climb from the lowest spots of the educational rankings is to tackle the Marxist garbage in our schools head on. We shall succeed in forming citizens and not political militants." This is very much like Brazil's version of we're going after critical theory in schools. So
basically libs of TikTok, but literal president.
Libs of TikTok with literal president, yeah. So I don't know how long it's been since you've been in school, Val, but did you see anything that he's talking about when you were in school?
Okay, so when I was in school, it was, oh my god, I am so freaking old.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
I see.
Yeah, and I didn't get this sort of stuff, but it was starting to happen. Like it was starting to be the case that people with that should not be approved to move further were being given handouts, so to speak. Does that make sense? Like it was sort of a social program where people could not get stuck in a year if they failed that year. So it was starting to get implemented.
Okay. So I think we have that here too, where it's like it's no longer allowed to fail kids because it hurts their self-esteem, basically.
Yes, exactly. It was only on public schools, and I went to both public and private schools, so I've seen both worlds, sort of.
Yeah.
Like the school system here is really bad. Like it teaches you things, but if you go through the public school curriculum, you can see that it's very lackluster, especially when you get to go to higher education. You'll see that you missed a whole lot of stuff. Like every time I see you talking about like ninth and 10th grade, we didn't have that when I was in school. My school went to the 8th grade and then high school, 3 years of high school, and then we graduate and go to college.
Well, hold on. 9th and 10th grade, those were high school grades here, yeah. So we have 9, 10, 11, 12, and then for a while 13, but 13's gone now.
Oh,
Those
okay.
are our
So
high
you
school
just
years. Yeah.
that makes a lot more sense. So we do have similar but different.
Yeah.
It's just structured differently.
But I do know that this is kind of what made people not like Bolsonaro in the West, was when he was like, I'm taking the Marxist garbage out of the schools, and it's just like, well, based, but yeah.
I mean, do you want to get into this now? Because this has to do with the military coup, and it's the reason why it's so hard to talk about Brazilian politics without involving the military coup and the military dictatorship, because it's
you might as well,
so
you
recent.
might as well tell us the story then, sure.
Yeah, tell us.
Okay, so basically what happened was at the end of João Goulart's presidency, Brazil started to dip hard into the socialism pipeline, socialism/communism pipeline. And so the military did a military coup and took power. And during 26 years, I might be wrong, I don't have it in front of me, but during a long time, they just refused to leave. And there was so it moved from the pendulum just swung from a very lefty regime to a very right regime, like in the span of a freaking week. And we had tanks rolling over the street, like on the streets of the city. We had a lot of political prosecution because of it. A lot of people died. A lot of censorship happened during that time. And at the end, the very most end of the opposition to the regime, we had tortures to find other dissidents, and like, just so people know this, like, this is new stuff. This is like 45, 47 years ago. And my mom actually went to school during the military dictatorship, and it was like full on. Every day you stand up, you pledge allegiance to the flag, you have to sing. If you do anything out of the ordinary, you have to you are like severely punished, to the point that people had to kneel on dry corn flakes, like not flakes, sorry, the seed, the little corn.
Yep.
It's very hard. Yeah, like,
I know what you
the
mean.
popcorn corn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kernels.
So they had to kneel on the corner and like sort of be punished that way. Like it was really bad. And my mom actually went through that. So it was really recent. It's still very recent. And with the movement that was called Diretas Já, a very large group of the population sort of protested until they resigned, and we had an election, and a new president was democratically elected. Because until then, they were just like passing the torch within the military.
Right.
So it was bad. It was really bad.
Lots of bad shit happened under the military dictatorship then.
Oh yeah, and I don't like to be like the black and white person, so I will say they did save Brazil from becoming full-on communist, so that was good.
It was all worth it in the end.
Yeah, I guess. There are people that say that, actually. But and people, like the media, actually painted Bolsonaro as someone that would be on that mentality like, oh, the dictatorship was good actually because it saved us from communism. No, calm the fuck down. That's insane. But yeah, so after that, Brazil started to recover because during the military dictatorship, we the government was in disarray. No one knew exactly what was going to happen. So we are still in a sort of slow recovery from the dictatorship. We had like crashes during the what's his face, Temer? No, not Temer. I forgot his name. God damn it. But there was one president that actually freaking crashed the economy too, and like in the style of the U.S. Stock crash, like people killed themselves. Like he took money from the banks, and it was a shit show. So yeah, we had a lot of that. We had a lot of corruption, a lot of people like laundering money, stealing, like outright stealing from taxpayers. We had accusations. We had the impeachment of Dilma. We had accusations that were like a lot of people that were around Lula levied against Lula and the whole trial. And now Bolsonaro was elected, and now we're here. It was Collor, yes.
Okay.
Dima was saying in
So-
chat, it was Collor. Fernando Collor de
I think it was
Mello.
called like the gas station corruption or something like that. Because
Gas station corruption?
Oh, it was the yeah, because Lilith is actually right, because it was it involved the Petrobras, which was it is the largest Brazilian petrol driller, I would say, and distributor of petrol, like raw petrol, not the British petrol, but the raw petrol.
And they were
The oil.
embroiled in a bunch of corruption scandals, and like it
Yeah.
took down a lot of people with them, I think.
And
right?
Lula
That's
was
what I
basically
recall.
involved there, and the car wash, there was an operation called Car Wash that sort of tried to unveil that. A lot of people went down. Lula didn't, but a lot of people that were like sort of around Lula did get jail time. He surprisingly did not, even because he was in his second term, so 8 years in power. And after Bolsonaro was elected, there were problems with the investigation, and the judge Moro, it seems like there was some doubts being like coming out, and I think it was Glenn. I actually told you in the before the stream, I said Glenn Greenwald was actually the guy that sort of exposed all of that and sort of brought that to light. So it wasn't necessarily Lula, but a lot of people in Lula's circle were involved, including the people that actually ratted him out. So yeah,
Here, hold on though. Just to reel this all in, where does the Marxist garbage in our schools come in? So when Bolsonaro says this, what is he specifically talking about?
Oh, sorry, I forgot completely about tying it in. Yeah, no. So a lot of that is, so the opposition happened after the military dictatorship, and the opposition included a large percentage of communist supporters. And these people actually took the power, and they have been in power for a while. So there are a lot of communists in power and socialists in power. And socialists I can deal with, but communists, no. And that's the problem.
No, don't deal with any of it. No compromise. Purge them all. Helicopter rides, baby. That's how it should be. Anyway.
Yeah, but that's it. They managed to infiltrate, quote unquote, the school system, and large
they're doing like
percentage
Antonio
of
Gramsci stuff then, basically.
Yeah, a huge portion of the country is very cozy with communism still. to this day, and some form of Nazism. But that may be too much for this video. I don't know.
No, I don't care. It's fine. You can say whatever you want on my stream. Fuck YouTube's rules. I don't care.
No, not that. It's just that it's a lot to go through.
Well, yeah. So I mean, the TLDR of that is that basically the Nazis escaped Germany in 1945, and they came to South America, and they started making like cryogenically frozen Hitler clones, and they'll and soon they'll awaken, and begin the Fourth Reich. That's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
They inject Compound V into them and make them into super soldiers. Just
So-
like in The Boys.
Yeah, but unironically, there are a lot of Nazi sympathizers, or not sympathizers, but descendants in the south of Brazil. And there was a conspiracy theory that was pretty, actually had a lot of sources behind it, which was a bit scary, that Hitler actually fled to Brazil after the war instead of, unaliving.
Do you think Hitler fled to Brazil?
Honestly, maybe. I don't know. What a fucking bad choice, man. Why?
Listen, we all know what actually happened, okay? We all know what actually happened. What actually happened is you've got Hitler's head in a jar that has been reanimated by Brazilian scientists. And that's what's going on. Is that in a compound deep within the mountains, Hitler has survived, and his head exists in a tube right now. And they're biding their time. They're waiting for the right moment to
They're gonna put
strike.
him in a mech with dual miniguns.
Yes, that's how it'll be.
And it'll fight BJ Blazkowicz. Just like in the game.
You know what? You couldn't make Wolfenstein today without, because like it was so over the top goofy, and people were so mad at the previous Wolfenstein game. Like if you wanted to make a goofy, a goofy interpretation,
Wolfenstein though.
well, yeah, but they're treating Hitler as this hyper serious person. If you wanted to make a goofy Hitler, you can't really do that anymore. People get too angry about it.
I still
They
can't
literally
believe,
did though. They literally made a goofy Hitler in the second Wolfenstein modern one.
He wasn't goofy. He was like he was extremely serious, but also extremely deranged, and like the audience was meant to laugh at him as he was like spitting and like going wild. But he wasn't like
pissing himself
he
and
wasn't
puking in a
an
bucket and shit.
Are you sure? Okay, maybe I didn't see that one. Maybe I didn't see that one.
Wait. How did Taika Waititi actually freaking get away with it then with Jojo Rabbit? Just because he played it?
Maybe.
Like, because that's a goofy ass Hitler, kind of funny. I kind of like that Hitler, not gonna lie. Someone will cope.
How long ago was
in
that?
The future.
Though? Wasn't that like 10 years ago?
Jojo, oh God, don't say that.
I don't think so. It was fairly recent.
Jesus Christ, 2019.
Oh shit. Okay, never mind. All right, never mind. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, hold on though. I want to continue because to be completely fair, Bolsonaro, despite his popularity on the right, and despite some of the good things we've said about him, he has also not been perfect, because you see, Brazilian Supreme Court has suspended a criminal investigation involving the president's son. And
that was another thing. Like,
well, hold on. Let me get through these first.
I don't want to jump the gun. Go ahead.
Yeah. The idea is basically like there has been some corruption revolving around Bolsonaro that is involving his family. There's also this article has since been deleted, but you can still find at least comments about it on Reddit, where Facebook announced on Saturday that it has obeyed a Brazilian judge's order for a worldwide block on the accounts of 12 of President Bolsonaro's supporters who are under investigation for allegedly running a fake news network. So it's not like Bolsonaro has, and his like faction of the internet or his faction of politics, they're not innocent. He's still probably done some bad things. It's just that also his opponents are also not innocent as well. And
oh hell no, yeah, a lot of his supporters are freaking insane.
Yeah.
It's kind of cringe, to be honest. Every time I see one of those videos pop up on my timeline, I'm like, oh my God, I share a country with these people.
And actually, before we get to that part of the conversation, I'm going to take a quick midway break and read a few of the super chats. Thanks for sending them, by the way, guys. Let's see what we have for super chats.
Thank you for the money.
Thanks for the money. Oh, it's all in Brazilian currency, so it's going to be worth less. Thank you, though. Thank you very much.
Feel my pain.
Let's see here.
I'm glad the Brazilians are enjoying our Brazilian reference here.
$5 Canadian from Generic. Speaking of gas station weed, did you know that you can still buy cigarettes in British Columbia pharmacies? Just some totally useless trivia I learned. No, I didn't know that. So wait, what is the Brazilian dollar? What is it called?
How?
Well, like,
Brazilian real.
The hell?
Real. Real.
Real?
Yes. It's spelled like this.
Okay.
But it's said like I said. It's pronounced like I said.
So it's real. It's spelled like real, but it's pronounced like hell?
No. Real.
I can't fucking say it, dude.
You can. Of course you can.
I'll just say Brazilian dollars, okay? Okay.
Brazilian bucks.
Yes. 5 Brazil bucks. All right, Dev, I want to see you roasting the crap out of my country or I won't be satisfied. And then you sent something in a language I can't understand. So here, I'll paste this. What does this say? Here.
Okay, do you want me to read it in Portuguese and then translate? Or do
you
want...
go ahead. Yeah.
Do the authentic thing. Do it.
Cadê os brasileiros nessa bagaça? Okay, so he asks where are the Brazilians in this shit.
That's you. You're the Brazilian.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think that he's asking chat, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
There are a lot of Brazilians in chat. Yay.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
£2 Society of Learning based Brazil man. 10 Brazil bucks. Bolsonaro is not Trumpian, Dev. He is BBC or CNN Trump. He watched those reports on Trump and molded himself after them. Trump himself was weirded out when he met Bolsonaro. So hold on. Was like Bolsonaro trying to like be a simulacrum of Trump? Is that what's going on here?
Looks like it. I mean, I can't actually debunk that.
Okay.
Because yeah. He emulated a lot of Trump. That's why 2 to 3 years ago, I actually said that Bolsonaro would not be reelected because I thought he was too freaking spicy and he was saying some actual dumb shit. Like,
fair enough.
No optics whatsoever. Do you know
Listen,
what I mean?
That's based.
Actual Trump.
You know what? No optics is based, and that's how I run my shit. I just say the truth. Yes. That's how it should be. Okay, hold on. 5 more Brazil bucks.
Saying no optics and just straight up saying crazy shit though.
No, if it's
if you're going for the presidency, maybe you need to worry about optics a little bit.
No.
Yes.
If something can be destroyed by the truth, then it should be. Destroy it. That's how it should be. Anyway, hold on. Daniel Matos for 5 Brazil bucks. Dev. Ask Val about the northeast of Brazil. That's where the true political nightmare resides. I know that because I live there and it's bad. So what's in the northeast of Brazil?
Okay, so I don't think I have the map here, but there was the election map, and the northeast was literally the only part of Brazil that voted overwhelmingly Lula. Like, literally, Bolsonaro won in every single one of the other parts except the Northeast, and he won, and Lula won. Like, that's how crazy the Northeast, it has a lot of power in terms of both voting power, because it's the poorest population. It's a desert, like, it's hell on earth to live there, aside from the coast, which is pretty good. But it's super hot, super horrible to live in, and a lot of poor people. Like, one of the poorest people on the country, the poorest people on the country live in the Northeast. So they end up voting for more social causes instead of voting for the economics of the entire country, which is bad. And
Hold
voting
on
here is
just a second.
mandatory.
Oh, is it? So if you don't vote, what happens to you?
Right, I heard
You-
about that.
Yeah, you pay a fine. Voting and for men, registering for military service is also mandatory.
Does
Like,
that
you
count for
literally
you?
need-
Like that? I know that you're a trans woman. Does that count for you? Do you have to register the same way that men do, or?
Well, I transitioned after, so yeah, I had to go there and I had to feel, and like they it's not, people from the US might be confusing it to the draft thing. No, it's not the draft thing. You go there and you register to serve, and they decide if you will or will not serve and go and be the reserves. So I'm a what we call a reservista, which means I can be called upon at any time, and it doesn't matter. Like maybe now that I had my transition, I might not be called, but yeah, I still have my card, like my document, and it's legit. Like if you don't do that, you may have problems doing a lot of legal stuff, like opening bank accounts and whatnot. I think it's easied out with time, but yeah, it's bad. Not registering for military service is bad. You can be a deserter. Like it can be bad. And voting is mandatory, and you pay a fine if you don't vote.
I think I found the voting map. So here, let me pull this up real quick. Here it is. This
There you go.
right.
Yeah.
So you have all the
that's
Lula
literally
votes.
the Northeast. Yeah.
And then you have like these are like kind of close areas, and then this one, Bolsonaro. Okay, so like the South seems to be Bolsonaro, the Northwest seems to be in the middle, and the Northeast seems to be Lula.
And like just to situate people, like the top, like the northwest part is actually where the Amazon forest is. So it's the size doesn't represent the number of people. So if you hover over to those areas, you notice that the number of votes is insanely small. And Acre,
These ones
which
up here?
no, the big ones, the Amazonias, and not Serra.
Yeah, so it looks like there's 2 million, and there's 2 million here. There's like 4.5 million here.
Part of being the Northeast.
Rio's down here, isn't it? Yeah, Rio's here.
Yeah, Rio is there. Yeah, it's right next to São Paulo, which is the biggest.
5 million, 14 million. Okay, yeah. So, there seem to be way. I mean, to be fair, like if it's a federal system, it will not strictly be by popular vote. It will be by
It's 50% plus one vote.
Yeah, so it's not going to be strictly popular vote. It will also be regional. So in the same way that like in the United States they have the Electoral College, where it's not just the popular vote, it's also regions.
Brazil was based on popular vote rather than regional.
I mean, if it's based on popular vote, there's like 14 million voting for Bolsonaro down here, but in their stronghold, there's only 1 million voting for Lula. So like, it seems like, hold on, if you were to add up all these numbers, did Bolsonaro win the popular vote and he just lost all of the various constituencies?
No. It's all popular vote for us.
Okay.
Yeah. So that
I was under the impression that Brazil went by popular vote, and
I guess it has to be this location
lost
that
the popular vote.
What is it? Is this Bahia?
Bahia.
Yeah, it seems to be this location that really pulled in for Lula then, because that gave him like 4 million extra votes.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking at the numbers and like, yeah.
They can rival the entirety of Brazil with votes in terms of how many people they have. Bahia is used to be a long time ago the capital, right? So, it's where we were colonized initially. So yeah, like there is a lot of people, a lot of very old people there, and and very traditionalist. Like they have a lot of that culture from the African culture, but it's a mixture of Brazilian and African now. So it's a complicated, complex little region there, but insanely culturally motivated, and I'm pretty sure they support Lula overwhelmingly, which will.
Oh my
was
god,
what
I'm
we
a
saw.
fucking retard. Hold on. I didn't bring in the fucking map.
There'll be chat saying yes.
I didn't bring in the map. Oh my god. Okay, guys, here's the map. I'm sorry. Here's what I was talking about. I was looking at all these numbers and I was adding them up. Sorry, guys.
Zero context to everything we just said.
I think the map showed up for us. You just didn't bring it up for the
Yeah. Fuck yeah, that's what happened.
Unfortunate.
It helps to have a map.
But yeah, as just like as a conclusion to what we
Not
were
the bad
talking
kind.
about, everyone that was economically motivated, so places where you have like big industrial and big like trading happenings in Brazil,
Yeah.
voted overwhelmingly Bolsonaro because he did very well for the economy. He was very bombastic and kind of annoying, but he did very well. The problem was the social aspect, which is what the Northeast needs because it's a very poor region that depends on either tourism or the rest of the country to exist. It's a very simplistic view of that region, and I hope I'm not offending anyone from there. But it's true. Like Minas Gerais, São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro are the three largest supporters of the entire industry of Brazil, and Acre because of the where we factory our stuff. So like cars and some cars and domestic appliances, those come from there. And you can see from this map that most of the areas that produce stuff ended up going Bolsonaro because he did the Trump thing. He reduced taxes on not what's the name? God damn it, companies. So he reduced
Corporations, you mean?
Corporations,
Businesses,
yes. Business taxes. Yes, that's the word.
Yeah.
So he reduced a lot of business taxes. As I said, the income tax is horrifying. He planned to do some revamping of the CLT, which is the way we do wages here. Like you can either be CLT or you can work by contract. And CLT people work 44 hours a week, and they are paid like from minimum wage, which right now is 1,200 Brazilian reais a month. So yeah, 44 hours a week, 1,200 a month for CLT minimum, right? You can work part-time within the CLT, which is CLT, by the way, in case you I was speaking in Portuguese for some reason. But yeah, you can work part-time, but it's not always the case. So he was trying to revamp that, but it didn't really happen as far as I know.
I have a question for you now. So, Brazil is kind of known in North America for its uncontacted tribes that are living out in the jungle.
Mm.
And
I've heard about that one.
I assume that they live in Amazonas out here.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's the Amazon forest.
Yeah. So, if it's illegal not to vote and the uncontacted tribes don't vote, is that illegal?
Okay, so that's
they're also probably don't count as citizens, right?
They don't count them.
I'm
They don't count them
assuming
as
that's
citizens.
what's happening.
Some of them do, but indigenous tribes have a special sort of they have a special designation, so they are sort of protected. They have regions that are assigned to them, like reservations and whatnot, and they stay there mostly. But like all over the line of the west,
Mm-hmm.
the west line of Brazil, we have a lot of indigenous tribes, including in Mato Grosso do Sul, where I was born and grew up for 10 years. I met a lot of indigenous people because that's where they usually tend to live. And that in Mato Grosso, is the Pantanal, which is like a swamp sort of forest area. So like it's sort of a rainforest, sort of a swamp. And in the north west, it's Amazonias, or the Amazon forest, which you guys know more familiar. You guys are more familiar with.
Yep. Okay, I think I understand what's going on now. Allow me to continue the super chats then, real quick. $2 from Mr. Personality. Devo is saying that Canadian assisted suicide is bad. Well, I did make that video on the Canadian assisted suicide thing, and I do not like how it's currently being handled. That's true. 5 more Brazil bucks from Daniel. Ask Val about our old empire under Pedro. The military kind of sort of regret the coup they did to insert a republic. Pedro was good. Was Pedro good?
Oh no, he's talking about the military coup. I don't remember his name. I don't remember
the empire Pedro the Magnanimous before.
Oh no, God!
Before the military coup. Was he bad?
I don't remember that. I don't remember. I will have to look it up.
I see.
I don't remember that far back into Brazilian history.
Val has finally been revealed as a bimbo. I understand. Okay.
Oh
no. Daniel, 2 more Brazil bucks. Thank you. The Germans are hiding in Acre. Oh, is this where they all hide? All the Germans are out here?
Yeah, the Germans, they hide in the entire south, like the little leg.
Okay,
no, the entire south.
He says that they're hiding here in Acre. This area.
No, that's okay. So that's a reference because a reference to a meme that we have here in Brazil that says Acre doesn't exist. And it's like you can literally say to anyone in Brazil that Acre doesn't exist, and they will probably either laugh or confirm, or just joke around.
Why is that the meme?
Because Acre was acquired from the neighboring country that I don't remember the name. I'm blanking out
Bolivia?
right now. Which
is it Bolivia that's over there?
I think so.
Yeah, I think like Bolivia's right here, isn't it? Where I'm circling with my mouse. I think it's there.
Let me just be sure. No, I don't think it was from Peru.
Peru, okay.
Okay, yeah. So Peru lost Acre it was a trade, I think. So yeah, Brazil didn't have that little thingy there.
Right.
And we just say Acre doesn't exist.
We didn't take that in a war, guys. It's completely fine. Okay. Synapse, 5 more Brazil bucks. Thank you. Here's 85 cents. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for the 85 cents. Crow Raptor, $5. Come to Brazil. Also, I love drugs. I am sure one day I'll visit Brazil. I think you're actually the only person I know who's in Brazil, though, Val. I don't think I know anybody else, but I'm sure I'll vacation one day.
I'll to Brazil, or Brazil will come to you.
I'll go to Rio and get tourist trapped, and then maybe and I'll spend like 10,000 times more money than I should, and then I'll probably get like put into a bathtub and somebody will steal my liver.
I need to correct a mistake. I was spreading misinformation. Acre was actually acquired from Bolivia.
I knew it was Bolivia. I knew it.
Yeah. Sorry.
Right. Okay.
Oh no, gotta get our channel taken down for misinfo.
Well, to be fair, I mean, Bolivia has now gone like kind of communist. They had like they were like socialist for like like 12 years or something, and then like the fascists won, and then the fascists ruined things in like a year, and now they're back to being fucking commies again. It's like, all right, guys, can't you just be fucking normal for once? Like,
You wanna
Christ.
know
It's
what's
like a very
funniest?
common trend for South American countries, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the commies and the fascists, they keep switching teams. It's like commies come in and ruin everything, and then the fascists come in and it's like, oh, we got to stop the commies, and then they come in and ruin everything.
It's almost like they're the same thing in the end.
Yeah. The horseshoe is real.
Okay, let's see what else we got here. $5 from Patrick Sloan. Thank you. Dev, no optics. Dev proceeds to trip down the stairs. Take my money, you bubble blowing baby. Thank you. Daniel, 20 Brazil bucks. Thanks. Brazil began in the northeast, yet it is the most underdeveloped, dangerous, and poorest region. It is also where the Coronis come from. We also had our own version of the Wild West. Ask Lunar about, was it Lampião and the... I can't pronounce these fucking names, dude. Here, hold on.
Lampião.
Here.
Portuguese things.
Here. I'm just gonna put.
I know.
Here it is. Here.
Lampião.
Read this. What this says. Okay.
Okay, Brazil. Not this part. Or do you want me to read everything?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Brazil began in the northeast, yet is the most underdeveloped, dangerous, and poorest region. It is also where the Coronais come from. We also had our own version of the Wild West. Ask Lunar about Lampião and the Cangaceiros. Yeah. We had okay. So the Old West that happened in the northeast of Brazil is pretty fun.
Oh yeah.
It's really fun. Like we had a lot of romanticization of it, but it's fun. It's fun. We legit had like some sort of quote unquote cowboys there, which were the cangaceiros, because that's a cangaço, which is a region of extreme dry desert. Like you have literal erosion on the soil because of how dry it is, and
yep.
So in the cangaço where they lived, they were known as cangaceiros. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. It's a bunch of like just romanticized Old West stuff from Brazil, basically.
Yeah, fair enough. I think every country has something like that. I know the Russians have the same kind of thing when the Russian expansion was moving eastward into Siberia. There's like a bunch of folk tales about like Russian heroes who were going out to tame the wildlife. You know, I think it's pretty similar.
Frontiersmen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the cangaceiros were not good guys. That's good catch from the chat, because I actually forgot to mention they were full-blown freaking outlaws. So they are romanticized outlaws instead of the good guy cowboy thing that the US has.
To be fair, the Cowboys weren't that good in reality either. But
yeah, true.
they had some moments to be sure. Okay, hold on here. By the way, guys, I just set up a raid, so once this stream is done, the stream should automatically send you over to Kibbs's channel. So I want everyone, when the stream's done, we're not done yet, but we're like 2/3 of the way through. No, go in there and just spam the chat with Breed Kibbs over and over and over and over again. Okay. All right. Okay. So.
Oh my God, bully.
$5 from Daniel again. Thank you. Remember, guys, Acre does not exist. It's all a lie. It's a figment of our imagination. Do not mention its name, or the aliens will return. Okay, you don't want the aliens to return. Synapse, 10 Brazil bucks. Fun fact: CLT and its attached labor laws were 90% copied from Mussolini's Carta del Lavoro. The left at the time called it fascistic and got pounded. Today's left loves it, and if you disagree. Yeah, so that's one thing I've noticed is like a lot of, the left tends to agree with the fascists specifically on economic issues. On other things, not so much. But on economic issues, they're almost always partners, leftists and fascists. That's definitely a thing that happens. Let's refresh here. Because after I've done the supers, we're gonna go into the second part of the stuff that I want to cover today. $10 from Televised. Thank you. Happy Dev acknowledging the left's 2 years of rioting. So can you also acknowledge the left's power that got them off scot-free? They got the FBI, CIA, judges, media, etc. I wouldn't say scot-free. For example, the guy that shot up that Republican candidate's house, he's being investigated by the FBI. You know, it's not scot-free. What's actually happening is that if you have like big Antifa cities like Portland or Seattle, these cities, they have local officials that are very pro-left. And these are the ones who are letting people off scot-free. The feds are not letting people off scot-free. That is just like some tinfoil hat copium. But it is true that like low-level people in some very far left areas, they are using their powers inappropriately. And that should be stopped. But this idea that like the entire federal system is set up to just let communists be communist in the United States, I don't fucking buy it.
Yeah, it seems a bit far-fetched.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot of people would have to be in on it.
Yeah. So let's continue. All right. So the election happened, and the election was very close. I don't know if you can tell by the map, but the election was actually very close. And let me see if I can pull up the official results, okay? Where's the results? Right, so here we go. Okay. So here they are. We've got 58 million votes for Bolsonaro and 60 million votes for Lula. And this is still within the statistical margin of error, but there have been recounts and other things that have happened, and it is confirmed that Lula has in fact won the presidency. Yeah. I think Val is actually BRB right now, so we can't get her opinion on some of this. But yeah, what happened was there was I think there might have been a runoff election because there was like other candidates that didn't really make the cut. So then they had like a runoff. That's why it says second round results, because in a runoff election, what happens is you have all your candidates run, and if no one gets more than 50%, you have a second election where only the top 2 get to run again. So if you have some like libertarian candidate from a third party or something, they didn't make the top 2 cut, they get cut out. You have a second round of elections to ensure who actually wins.
Makes sense.
And for a while, I do know that. Here, let me dig deep into the Sargon secret chat because he was talking about this earlier. Because he had a few links himself. Let's see here. I'll grab this stuff and just quickly pull it up until Val comes back.
I have come back.
You have come back?
I have returned, yes.
Okay. I am quickly finding a few things that Sargon has given me.
I am speaking very broken English right now. I'm a very nervous person, anxious, really.
No, you've been fine. Okay, here we go. Okay. Hold on.
I didn't realize. Yeah,
Hold on a
you're
second.
pulling.
V was like, Dev, can I come on your stream? And I was like, sure. Then he's like, wait, no. You haven't come on my stream in a while, so I'm punishing you. And I was like, oh. All right.
He's the one who asked.
To be fair, I also asked, though. I in the private room, I was like, Sargon, Arch, V, if you guys want to jump in and talk about Bolsonaro, because all 3 of them have been talking about it, you can do so. And I think Sargon's still at work. And Arch was like, I'd love to, but I can't. I'm working on a... Hold on, is this secret? No, it's not secret. Okay. He's working on a Starship Troopers video today. So he can't. Okay. He would, but he can't. And V is just being V.
So we can't have V on just to kick V.
You know what? I'm going to cut a deal with him and probably go on his stream tomorrow or something. Just to make sure things are okay. Hold on, wait. Such an Adam have Metzer, Dave Smith, and Jimmy Dore on. Jesus. Such an Adam. They've been going wild with the guests. Like those guys are getting they're growing fast. Good for them. But anyway, so I have up on the screen. Val. These are the official final runoff elections from the second round votes, where Bolsonaro has lost and Lula has won. For a while, it didn't look like it was going to be this way because, let me just pull this up here. This was from Glenn Greenwald, where in the first round, Bolsonaro was winning, but it was closing. Like, if you look at these gaps, 50.39, 49.61, and then the final is 50.9, 49.1. Like, this is within statistical error of probability that it might actually not have been them. Like,
wait, I think you showed 2 pictures of the second round, because the first round has all the other candidates.
Right. Yes. Sorry, you're correct. Yeah. So the issue basically is that everyone is kind of getting really let's say heated about this, because even though at the end of the day Lula won 2 million more votes than Bolsonaro, it's still within the statistical probability that it might be fake, or it might be like a miscount or something, because 2% is not that much in terms of like an election this big. So
yeah, and not to mention that the votes that were being tallied, that's good to mention as well. We use electronic machines, like voting
Dominion
machines,
voting
right?
systems.
Just to make it clear, like, if there is fraud, it's probably very hard to track.
Oh my god! What the fuck? What? Jesus! Hold on, I'm banning Blue Yed for that. Fucking this guy is like, he's like, click this, and I'm like, okay. And it's like, Jesus, Blue Yed, you're fucking banned. Okay, sorry, go on, continue.
How dare you get us DMCA'd?
Imagine taking the entire stream down for like 5 seconds. Anyways, so yeah, we use electronic machines, voting machines, and they are if there was fraud, it was very hard. It will be very hard to track.
Right.
And it's probably nigh impossible actually to figure out.
Right.
Because there's no paper trail whatsoever, and we don't have we don't have the fingerprint system set up in all electoral colleges, so it's very hard to actually figure out if the votes are okay or not.
Someone in the chat is saying the machines were made in Venezuela. Dun dun dun. It was Dominion after all. Okay.
Thickens.
Oh, no.
So,
the Venezuelan government behind all this all along.
It's Caleb all along.
So here's the real issue. Okay, is that we've gone over a bunch of Bolsonaro's stuff over his 4 years as president. He's done some good things. He's done some bad things. There's been some things I've liked, some things I didn't. He's not the polarizing figure the media treats him as. Well, no, to be fair, he's polarizing, but like, he's not the evil figure the media treats him as. He has his ups and downs like every politician. So, however, the media has been very one-sided in reporting on it, at least in English. So, one example of that is you'll see stuff like this, right?
One thing about Bolsonaro that I don't think we brought up was his treatment of the Amazon forest, was it?
Well, that shit's been getting cut down for like 50 years, whether it's a left-wing government or a right-wing government. Like, that's pretty normal, I think, in Brazil.
Yeah, but he's also been on like the record giving like logging companies
and actually
basically the green light to do it.
I mean, I don't want to throw the United States under the bus, but the United States does have a little outpost there too. So, I mean, if you guys are gonna consider the entire forest as a freaking world national, freaking not nationals, I mean,
it's not
world
good when the
treasure.
United States does it either.
And I know what you mean.
Everyone needs to freaking help.
No, I agree. But
we are spending a lot of money, and a lot of money to defend that place.
So
it's hard.
What? No, I understand. I understand completely. I know, like Kraut did when Kraut did a video on South America. He talked about how basically like the lush jungle, after you cut it down, the soil left behind is great for crops, but you've destroyed the ecosystem, so the soil doesn't regenerate, and it becomes like kind of really shitty farmland after that. So there's only a short-term gain when you cut down jungle like that. But anyway,
Isn't that what it happened to create like the Sahara Desert like 1,000 years ago, a couple thousand years ago?
I don't know if they cut
It's like,
down forests to do that, but I think I kind of know what you mean. Yeah.
There's a reason. There's a reason why it's considered illegal to cut down large swaths of the forest there. Like it's already illegal. The problem is enforcing that. It's really hard. It's a huge freaking piece of land to enforce, and even though we have military there, 24/7, you can't really like. I don't know if anyone watching or if any of you guys have any experience with rainforests, but rainforests are dense freaking forests.
Yeah,
like you can't really traverse a lot of it.
Believe
So
it or
it's
not, Canada has a rainforest, so I know what you mean. I know.
Covered in snow.
It's a frozen rainforest.
Here's how it works, okay?
Joking.
So you know the mountains in British Columbia?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yes.
Okay. So the mountains in British Columbia have a giant valley where it's actually a lot warmer in the valley. And basically the mountains kind of cut off the forest from the outside world, so humans don't really go there. But it's an extremely dense, extremely wet, extremely warm area that's surrounded by snow and ice like all year long. And so let me just show you this here. I'll pull a picture up.
Crazy. That's
check it out.
crazy to think that.
So this
Oh
is
my
what it looks
God.
like, and you see that's like a polar bear hanging out in like a forest like this, and this is in
Yeah,
Canada.
and all the moss all the moss in the trees. It means it's really damp.
Yep. So, like, if you play World of Warcraft, there's the place in Northrend called Sholazar Basin, where it's basically in a completely iced continent. There is like a rainforest that's isolated, even though it's far up north. And there's other examples of this where like in various fantasy stories or video games or whatever, you have this trope, this stereotype of in the far north where it's extremely cold, there's a hidden valley where it's like a jungle. That actually exists, and it's in Canada.
Oh my God, that's so cool. Look at the bear friend just chilling there.
Also,
All the
Naomi's
guys. I
here.
love
Hi,
this
Naomi.
Chilling.
Wait, hold on.
Vibing.
Come say hi to everyone.
Hi, guys.
All right, okay, get out of here.
Bye, guys.
Oh, Naomi.
I love you. Okay, have fun.
And goodbye.
She just came home from work, so she wanted to say hi. But yeah, so Canada also has a rainforest too.
Dev,
Yes. What?
I will cuck you.
That's right. So the narrative right now is that Lilith went to sushi with you and not me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Fuck off.
and
that she's cucking. She's cucking me.
Listen, Lilith flew
Be
all
nice
the way
to
from
Naomi.
fucking California just to visit me for a fucking 45-minute lunch date at sushi in Canada.
That's all it is. Huh?
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's good sushi.
Sounds plausible.
Okay, so what's going on here? What's going on here then?
That exemplifies how hard it is to actually like police that area. Imagine like because I imagine that's probably big, but I imagine Amazon is bigger.
Oh
so
yeah, much bigger. The Amazon's much bigger.
The Amazon.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
The place in Canada is called the Great Bear Rainforest, and it has a Wikipedia article if you want to read up on it.
Wait.
But what?
Can I tell my fun fact about the bears?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So
Get closer to the mic, you fuck.
Sorry. So in this particular rainforest, it's I'm pretty sure it's actually the only place where black bears can be white without being albinos. It's just a random mutation, but they're white black bears.
Well,
and
here's the thing.
To my knowledge, it's the only place in the world that has them, but I might be wrong about that fact.
Well, what's going on is the valley is isolated from the outside world a lot, so there's a lot of like weird mutations in the wildlife there.
Yeah, but it's cool because
Why-
they're called spirit bears. Spirit bears.
Spirit bears.
Oh, they're okay. I was about to ask, like, why are they not called white bears? Is that like some sort of racism that I'm not aware of? Bear racism.
Bear with the hard R.
Bear with a hard R. Well, anyway, it's called the Great. If you want to look it up, it's called the Great Bear Rainforest, and it has very similar problems as to your Amazon because there's a lot of resources there. There's a lot of oil there, for example. The soil's pretty good, and there are interests that want to cut it down and develop the area. And the native tribes that live in this area, they're like, no, you can't have our land. And so there's like an ongoing battle between the provincial government, the federal government, and the various bands. So like I know for a while Trudeau's government has been wanting to like put a pipeline through, and it's like, well, I don't know. Was it this area or a similar one? I'm not sure. But basically Trudeau's government wanted to put a pipeline where it was kind of inappropriate to put one because like it's one of these historic locations, and it's like maybe not here, you know? Maybe not here.
I hope he's ready to like spend significantly more money to do that then, because that sounds like an endeavor if I heard one.
Oh, just give me a second here, real quick. Arch wants to hop on. You guys want to talk to Arch?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Arch Warhammer is?
No, maybe I don't know.
I've been on the Archcast,
like Warhammer videos.
I've been on the Archcast, and I was on like his channel is like the biggest YouTube Warhammer channel.
Listen, I only have so many hours in my day, okay? But you guys do a lot of stuff.
Okay, well here, the core group of friends is like Sargon, Arch, V, me, like Count Dankula's in there. Like he's one of our guys, you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I don't mind.
You
By
will
the way,
never
I was
beat
just
the Sargon orbiter allegation stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's the Sargon orbiter. Well, no, it's also just the fact that he what else? He was in the Lord of the Rings series that I did with Lilith and Kibbs and Arch.
Yeah.
And Taftadge was there for a few episodes. Here, I'll add Arch to the call then. Where's Arch? How do I add people?
Kind of sad that Sargon isn't here so we could say that Bolsonaro was based together. I know he was in a big Bolsonaro train a little bit.
Yeah,
ago.
He was definitely a Bolsonaro guy, for sure.
Of course, they both have similar stances on rape.
Based.
To be honest,
Based.
I do too.
Wait, you do too?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Hey, Arch.
Not that. My stance on rape is you either are castrated or killed if you commit rape. That's my stance on rape, I guess.
I guess, yeah. I guess that makes sense. Anyway, hi Arch. How's it going? I know you were working earlier.
Just finished my Starship Troopers defense video.
In defense of Starship Troopers. Hold on. The book or the movie?
Both, but mostly the movie in this case.
Oh, how come? What's the story there?
Well, it's kind of re-entered the public consciousness a little bit. For some reason, suddenly, lots of the usual suspects have started writing articles about it, which means I must defend it now. It is the law.
What is their logic?
That they don't have one.
Wait, what do you mean?
I'm kind of spinning this off into the broader point that I think the reason why so much of modern entertainment sucks is because the people making it are literally incapable of understanding the thing they're trying to make. Like, they do not have the mental tools to understand it. They're not interested in it.
Arch, did you make a video about the how Starship Troopers was actually not a fascistic sort of parody, but a libertarian utopia?
That was Sargon. That was Sargon. I think it was Sargon, yeah. But Arch, you voiced some stuff in that.
Same train for a while.
You voiced some stuff in that, though. I think.
Yes, I do.
Hold on though. By the way, Arch, this is Val. She's someone that I know, a viewer and friend who is also in Brazil, and thinks that Bolsonaro is completely based and has done nothing wrong ever.
Hello, Val.
Hey, Arch.
Sorry for coming in and derailing your conversation here.
They're
But that's
already
fine, that's-
derailed. Yeah, we're talking about white bears, okay?
Yeah. So what you're seeing on screen right now, Arch, if you pull it up, because I'm streaming to the call, what you can see is the Canadian rainforest, and this is just a rainforest that exists in an isolated valley up in Canada's north, where it's way too cold for there to be a rainforest.
And a polar bear.
Yeah. It's one of the, like I was mentioning earlier before you showed up, that there's this kind of fantasy stereotype of, in like the far north of a continent where it's like just raging winter all around, that there's going to be an isolated valley that is actually really temperate and warm and has a jungle in it. That actually exists in Canada, and this is what it looks like.
There you go.
So
I guess this means that the myth of Hyperborea is true after all.
I guess, yeah. But the idea basically is that it's what Canada is going through is similar to what Brazil is going through with the Amazon rainforest on a very small scale, in that this is like a very unique place ecologically, and then there are like outside interests that want to come in and, you know, exploit it and kind of destroy it. And the argument is, well, we do need all the oil that's underneath this area, but also this is the only place on the planet like it, and should we be ripping it all out just to get oil? Like, I don't know. There's an argument to be made on both sides for that one.
Well, the thing about the whole oil argument is, as a Norwegian,
yes,
I'm quite invested in this too. The thing is, we don't really have a shortage of oil, really. We've got quite a lot. Like, the Middle East is still providing us with absolute loads, and they're regulating it themselves. Norway still has untapped resources. America has ridiculous quantities of untapped resources, etc. But it was cheaper to rely on
the country.
Yeah, sure.
But it was cheaper to rely on Russian resources, which turned out to be a fucking retarded idea.
Yep.
And the thing is, too, we are eyeing eventually transitioning away from fossil fuels. However, to do that, we must rely on fossil fuels, because they are literally the only industry with enough money to start doing to start developing the solutions we need to move over to fully renewable energy.
Yeah,
So,
that's why I cringe a lot whenever I see those just stop oil activists. Like, that's insane freaking. That's an insane freaking mentality to have. You can't just stop.
Nuclear people.
Yeah,
nuclear is based. Okay,
we need to go full on for nuclear. All right.
We do, and Brazil actually has a pretty funny
in every car, just like in Fallout.
Oh, shit.
And that's also the thing, because we don't need to ruin places like
in
these.
your bedroom clock, all right?
A reactor in your bedroom clock. But yeah, like, you know, there are some places where it's like, oh, you'll destroy this area if... What just happened? What just happened? Hold on, Jesus Christ, what just happened? Uh-oh. Something fucked up on my... Oh, no, it's back. Okay. I don't know what the fuck that was. Anyway, no, there's just this idea that you know, we shouldn't destroy this fucking desert with nothing in it. It's like, well, who really cares, right? But this is not that kind of conversation. This is a very unique place, and maybe we shouldn't just throw it away, you know, wantonly.
Yeah.
But that was a side conversation, because the main conversation so far, Arch, I know you've been busy, so it's okay. I'll give you the TLDR. We've gone over what Bolsonaro has been doing for the past 4 years. And some of it is legitimately good, and some of it is legitimately bad. But that's the case with every politician. And how basically the media has not exactly treated him so fairly when talking about the good things that he's done.
Oh, I'm shocked and surprised.
Yep, that's how they treat every right-wing politician, it seems like, no matter what, whether they're actually good or bad. And we were talking about the actual election itself, because if you were to see, these are the official numbers at the end. They had a runoff election because neither of them got above 50% with the other various candidates. So they had a second round, and the second round had Bolsonaro lose by it's like 1.8%, which is around 2 million votes.
Can I just say how delusional it was that the left, like the Lula supporters, actually thought they could get a first round win? Like, it's so delusional to think that, and they were actually angry when they didn't, which was pretty funny to watch.
And Val explained to us the geographic conversation, because Arch, if you can see this is the map of Brazil, and the majority of the communist support is up here in the poverty-stricken northeast, while the south, which is more industrialized, went more Bolsonaro, and then the actual jungle area in the west is kind of hit or miss. So this seems to be like a class lines election.
I think I've seen this situation before in every society in human history, frankly. The poor voting for stuff for themselves and the not poor voting for, please, can we have the things we have?
Yes.
I wish you had the parallel map of the economics of Brazil, because it would literally be the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's
poor
like
people in the northeast
places,
and yeah.
No, it's not just poor people, because we have a lot of poor people in the entirety of Brazil. Brazil has like 70% of lower class people. But like just economically speaking, how each state actually contributes to the federal sort of economy. If you just pick that map and like overlay over this one, it will actually be the same thing. It's crazy how much that's true.
So you're saying the South contributes more economically and the Northeast basically takes up more economically? Is that what you're saying, or is it the inverse?
Not the South, but not the South. Because when we're talking Brazil, Southeast is actually where we're actually looking at, which is Minas Gerais, São Paulo, and Rio de Janeiro. Those are the three biggest contributors. Mato Grosso too, because it's farmland. But those are the biggest like sort of contributors, and Acre because of the industry. But if you look at the map, like the South is just freaking the quote unquote Nazi descendants. Which is pretty funny.
So that was one part of the conversation, Arch. A bunch of Nazi descendants ended up settling down here in the South. And now they're all voting for Bolsonaro.
And God, oh God, does the media fucking run with it?
Oh yeah,
Let me tell you that.
It's like you voted for Bolsonaro and your great grandfather was a Nazi. How dare you? Yeah, but I mean, it does seem to be the case that the more productive areas of the country are the ones that are more likely to vote for Bolsonaro, and then the poorer areas are the ones that are likely to vote for. But also at the same time, I mean, Lula also has, even though Bolsonaro has a history of, praising the military dictatorship, which was not necessarily a good time in Brazil's history, Lula has his own problems. I mean, Lula has a bunch of corruption himself. Wasn't he in jail at one point? Like, he is also not a clean candidate by any sense of the word.
The problem with Lula is that he is very cozy with China, like really, really cozy. And Brazil itself is very dependent on China. So like what we will experience now is that after COVID destroyed us and the zero tolerance lockdowns on China were actually very detrimental to them as well. Now they are needing to restock on commodities, and we actually provide them with 30% of our commodities. They represent 30% of our commodities.
Your
the
exports,
exportation.
Yeah.
So like Lula will actually see, and you can mark my words in like a few months. But Lula will actually see a huge economical growth, and he will definitely, and the media too, will definitely attribute it to to his government, instead of just being, you were kind of lucky, you were not president when the virus has destroyed the country, so kind of luck.
Yeah,
not really your skills.
And I guess if you want to really put a tinfoil hat on it, you could say that Lula is close with China, and to maintain that relationship, China might change their trade policy with Brazil to help keep their guy in power. So like you could go down that route. That seems a bit conspiratorial. It might happen. It's not like the Chinese wouldn't do that if they wanted another nation to have a guy friendly to them. So that's a possibility of what could come. Because I know that Bolsonaro did not like China.
Oh no. And I'm pretty sure if wouldn't destroy the country to actually tax importation and exportation to China, he would probably do the same as Trump.
The trade war? Yeah.
Yeah, but that would actually destroy the country because we are way more dependent on China, on Chinese money than the US is. Like, people need to realize that that Brazil is actually a third world country, and we do need a lot of support in terms of economics. Like, we have a lot of resources and such, but the country itself is in like crushing debt. We have insane social programs that drain the public safes, and we pay insane taxes. So, like, we are kind of draining the country itself dry while trying to survive. And China is the only big sort of injector of money. So without China, I don't like it, but it's true. Without China, Brazil will be fucked.
That's a deal with the devil, though.
Yeah, it's just, I'm sure there's lots of caveats attached to the Chinese money, like it has been for the African countries that they've had dealings with.
What I was going to mention earlier, before Arch hopped in, was basically that despite the fact that Lula has a pretty bad history himself, and Bolsonaro has done his own set of good things, the English-speaking media has been very one-sided in reporting on this story. So you can see stuff like this, for example. Lula narrowly wins Brazil's high-stakes election, ending Bolsonaro's far-right presidency. And this article is like a very... it's very pro-Lula. And a lot of the stuff that you'll see in English-speaking media in the West is very pro-Lula. To the point... And it's like, well... They're both kind of corrupt, guys. Like... The only real difference, really, because one of them wants a communist dictatorship, the other one is praising the military dictatorship from before. Like, the difference is that they're right versus left, but the actual things that they do aren't. Like, there's going to be some differences, but like they both have good and bad points. So it really just is boiling down to it's the left, so it's good.
It's again the lack of actual mental capabilities to understand what they're talking about here. Like, genuinely, that's the case. It isn't even necessarily malice. I think it's just ignorance. Because far right, they always say that. Trump is far right. Republican Party is far right. Bolsonaro, far right. Mm-hmm. When the Progress Party in Norway got into power, it was a far right party. What does far right mean? It means as little as fascist. It's a word that has no meaning in the modern context except bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it might as well read ending Bolsonaro poopy head's presidency.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, like, I don't think these people understand what a fucking far right person actually is. And also that to say far right does not necessarily mean bad. It's a description of a political stance, not a description of good or evil. Like, so Arch, did you read the big long today's big long conversation between Sargon and I in the private chat?
No, I saw a small part of V being wrong, and then I skipped over the rest.
Okay, well, it's a good conversation. You should go read it. But basically, we were talking about Academic Agent because we were on your channel on the Archcast, and Sargon brought up the Great Man Theory of History, and he talked about Academic Agents, like his published works and stuff. And then Sargon published that he stole that clip from you and put it on his channel. But then, like, I got into it with someone in the comments of that, and then Sargon and I talked about it a whole bunch. But basically, what I was saying was, like, I would describe Academic Agent as a far right person, but and he is definitely further right than someone like Bolsonaro is. But I don't think that means that Academic Agent is a bad person, even if I disagree with him.
Again, that's the thing with the meaning of far right. It just means bad. Like, I have an example from my own, like, circle, kind of. Mm-hmm. The reason why I got labeled a Nazi was because I had a conversation on my channel with a person named the Golden One, which I'm sure you probably know who is.
I do. Hold on. I thought you got labeled a Nazi on your channel because, like, Discord leaks came out of you making edgy jokes.
Oh God, no! I got labeled Nazi years before that.
Okay, all right.
The Discord leaks was as a result of a bunch of commies infiltrating my server after years of trying.
Okay, fair enough.
But the thing is, the Golden One is... I would absolutely describe him as far-right, but he actually messaged me once, and I was like, I'm not, far-right, you shouldn't describe me this, it's what the media does. And it kind of made me think, like, it's because it's just a bad thing, because it then sounds like I'm saying he bad man. And the thing is, I actually really respect the Golden One, because he's entirely open about his political position. He makes his argument, he doesn't make any pretense, and he wants to put his point across in the democratic process, and he's completely open about it, and he lives his principles. Like, I respect him a hell of a lot more than I do the average leftist,
Well, do you agree with his politics, or no?
No.
Right. So,
I've had a conversation with him, but like, he is very much so of the opinion that people should be in their own countries, immigration is bad, etc. I don't agree. Not to that extent, anyways.
Yeah, so...
But the thing is, I am entirely capable of respecting him as a person for it. And that's why, like, even though I consider him right-wing, I don't consider him bad. And I don't even know if I consider his ideas bad. I'd simply consider them to be something that we should have in the public discourse, and then we'll vote on it, like we always do.
Yeah. That is kind of the difference. It's like, well, we think this set of politics is so bad that you shouldn't be able to debate it, you shouldn't be able to vote on it. And so it's like, well, who the fuck are you to say that, right?
Yeah.
Like... Okay, no, I understand your point of view.
It's the problem with that is, like, the populace needs to have the mental fortitude to actually understand that just because someone is voting against them, it doesn't mean they are evil. That would be a very good start for us to actually mend instead of divide, because that's the problem right now. Like, if you think, like, to the root of the problem. Whenever you have someone voting Republican, for whatever reason, someone on the other side will label that as being evil. Just the action of voting. It doesn't matter the reason. The person can be voting Republican for the economics, or he may be voting Republican because, I don't know, he fucking loves fascism. I don't know. And I'm not saying Republicans are fascists, but I know what you mean, I mean. Yeah. So, like, we need that level of sort of mental maturity to be widespread, instead of just, like, very little people can actually deal with the fact that other people vote differently than them, and, like, being able to actually keep relationships with those people, even though they voted differently. That's the start, in my opinion, to mend the divide.
Yeah,
because the divide is big in Brazil too. Like, don't get me, it's insane.
We're gonna see it right now. That's the next thing I'm gonna pull up. Okay, so these actually,
actually, everybody has to vote the same way I do. Nobody gets to vote any differently.
So this was from your Twitter account, Val, and you said Brazil just dodged another military coup. The military was doing an investigation of the elections, and they could have very well found something wrong, and that would have sparked another coup. Fuck me. I'm very glad people will finally drop this shit. And here's a link to the PDF in Portuguese. So basically, as the protests went on, and I have some protest footage, but the protests went on, and Bolsonaro was kind of being ambiguous about whether or not he would accept his defeat, because everyone was angry on both sides, and both sides have been quite violent. The military finally stepped in and said, listen, we will audit the election. And then everyone suddenly got scared because of the history of the military, the military government.
That's the thing. They didn't step in. They were called upon by the people. Who called them? Like, if you see all the protests are asking for the military to intervene. Almost every single one. Like, the protests are happening in... No. Like, the... just the Bolsonaro supporters, they are protesting in front of military bases, asking for the military to intervene. So that was triggered because they were asked. And Bolsonaro probably asked, allegedly, but that's like something that we don't have any confirmation, because he just disappeared after the election. And Lula disappeared after he won too. So, like, everyone is disappearing and we don't know shit.
Yeah. So This is in Portuguese if you want to read it. I cannot read it, obviously, but it does exist. But the TLDR of this was that the military audited the election and said no, and said no that Lula actually won it. Now, here's the thing. If we turned around, like, if the military turned around and said, no, actually, we found evidence of fraud, Bolsonaro won, people would be losing their fucking minds right now. Because the military is already kind of predisposed to side with Bolsonaro. So the fact that they found that Lula won probably means that Lula actually won.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, thank God. Because that's why I said that.
If they found that Bolsonaro had won, it would have probably been like the memory of the military coup would be like fresh in people's head.
Here's the question though. Okay, let's say for the sake of the hypothetical that Bolsonaro actually won. Okay. And the military actually looked into it and was being truthful and found real evidence of corruption and said, no, Bolsonaro won. Even though it would be the truth, do you think, like, how much of a shit show do you think that would be?
Oh, okay. So
humongous.
In the hypothetical, if that happened, like if the case was the opposite and Bolsonaro actually won after the investigation, if they didn't trigger an actual full-on investigation in the matter, I'm pretty sure the military would have a lot of support to actually attempt a military coup. I have no doubt on my mind, because they have a lot of support, even after they already decided that, like, came to the conclusion that it is most likely, because I'm using this word because this wording because that's what they use on the document. Like, there is no way to prove with certainty that there was an illegitimacy in the election. So it is most likely the case that that Lula has won the election fair and square. Now, if that was not the case, pretty sure they would attempt a military coup, especially if the government didn't investigate it further, because that's the military, the Ministry of Defense. That's the military branch of the federal military branch.
Right.
They don't have authority over that.
If that were the case, could you see Lula's supporters fighting them? Like, would it actually turn into a civil war?
Oh, there would be blood for sure. The problem is, as I said, there is no guns. Like, civilians, most civilians don't have guns or access to guns, but the military does.
Yeah.
So you can be damn sure that they would probably be winning that fight.
Yeah.
If that happened, yeah.
So it sounds like you just narrowly missed a huge fucking shit show.
Exactly. Like, it would be a bloodbath at the end of the day, because like the civilians don't have guns, like most of the civilians don't. But there is a lot of militia sort of groups that do have access to guns, which would be it's a group that we didn't talk about, but they do.
Well, you kind of mentioned
sort of.
You mentioned the drug cartels that actually have a lot of weapons because they fund it through their illicit activities.
Yeah, but they are not. They are only a problem in the big cities. The problem, like the people that do that sort of criminal activity in the countryside, would be the Movimento Sem Terra, which are the people that don't have lands, like home, no land people, I guess you could say that.
Okay.
So they don't have land, and they fight to try and take land from the farmers, and that's
Jesus.
That's a huge civil war that is happening.
Just wait a second, so I understand this. You have a group. You have a militia group in Brazil that is fighting your farmers to try and steal their land.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just Google. If you Google this.
Okay, what's the name of it? Put it in the MST.
Not my land.
The Movimento Sem Terra. What? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to
Movimento Sem
pronounce
Terra.
anything, by the way, but let's look them up.
That's huge here in Brazil.
The Landless Workers Movement. It's a social movement in Brazil inspired by Marxism, one of the largest in Latin America. So you literally have communist revolutionaries.
Yeah, I told you. It's crazy here.
Wait, there's 1 million, there's 1.5 million people doing this.
It's a lot of people.
So you're going to have the Landless Workers Movement, the Landless Workers Movement, and to be honest, they'll probably try to funnel some money over to the druggies and get their guns, but the Landless Workers Movement fighting with the military. Oh, and to be fair, right here, between
Farmers
2000
and the farmers.
So before Bolsonaro came to power, Lula's previous government was aligned with these guys.
Yeah. Like there was talk about there was talk of actually sanctioning parts of land from like legitimate landowners to these people as negotiation between the government and the MST movement. It's like it's crazy shit. Like imagine I don't know if you watched the Farmlands documentary.
Lauren Southern's for South America? South Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah.
So imagine that, but without the racial motif.
It's just a class motif instead.
Exactly. We have a huge classism problem here in Brazil, actually. Like people that are lower class view the middle class as scum and trash, and it's horrible. It's pretty bad.
Okay, so
Sounds like they're directing their ire at the wrong places.
I'm skimming the article, and they're like a core component is like violent revolutionary squatters' rights. This sounds fucking insane.
Yeah, motherfuckers died during this during like fights. And
Jesus. So Arch, what does this all sound like to you?
Like nuclear weapons is a good idea, and we haven't used enough of them.
Brazil should nuke them. That's what we should do.
Yes.
Jesus.
Actually, there is a joke here in Brazil that some people do. I don't know if it's widespread, but we joke about just carpet bombing the country. Just
carpet bombing the country. Jesus. Okay, hold on. Let me see here. I'm kind of skimming this to
violent communist revolutionaries
who are aligned with the new president.
Well, to be fair, like you can make the argument that Bolsonaro is aligned with violent communist revolutionaries, but on the right-hand side of the spectrum.
Yeah, you can say
so.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah,
but I mean, Lula is going for his third term now. That's like
he had 2 terms before Bolsonaro.
Years in power, yeah. And like the Labour's Party, the Labour's Party has been in power for longer because the earlier government before Lula was also Labour's Party, and the Labour's Party is affiliated to the National Communist Party, which is very sad.
Mm-hmm. Jesus.
This is one of those things, though, with a lot of South American quote-unquote democracies. Like Mexico, too, was ruled by essentially a one-party system for God only knows how long.
Yeah. Well, in Mexico's defense, the one party changed a few times, but it was always one party. You know? Yes. It was never more than one at any one time. But okay, so that's the Landless Workers Movement. Like, look at this flag, man.
I actually
you got Crocodile Dundee here with his hat and his big knife And it's like, we're gonna have a revolution, guys.
This
I
is
enjoy the
noise.
fact that they're both white.
Of course, they're both white.
Kind
See,
of sad I didn't mention them before because I forgot. I completely forgot about them. That's a city person problem.
yeah.
Because we don't deal with them.
See, you've got like the red background, the white circle. All you need is a swastika right there, and it would make the whole thing
Give it
complete.
some... it reminds me of like the fucking the Nazbols, the National Bolsheviks.
Yeah.
Are they similar? Like the
Nazbols,
literal commie Nazis.
The commie Nazis. The Nazbols, I think, are a bit different than these guys because the Nazbols specifically want the Soviet Union back, and they're very specific in the type of communism they want. They're strictly Soviet.
I mean, to be fair, look at this. I sent you in chat an image of the Labour Party logo. Like, come on now.
This is Lula's party's flag.
Yeah.
A star with PT. All right.
I mean,
right. Here.
If the communist anthem starts playing, it's just a coincidence.
Just a coincidence. So I've collected a few clips here. Okay. Right. This is the announcement of the election fraud. Okay. So you've got, for example, breaking: left-wing agitators are coordinating hit-and-run attacks with cars in Brazil against peaceful protesters, peaceful pro-Bolsonaro protesters. Okay, hold on. This might actually be someone getting hit with a car, so I'm going to take away the video, but you guys can still see it. So let's check out what this video is all about, okay? Oh, there's the river. Oh my fucking god. Jesus.
Meu Deus, o cara matou uns 4, 5 aqui, ó.
Okay, so
flashbacks.
Yeah. So based on what you could hear, is that an accurate translation of what happened? That was a pro-Bolsonaro protest that just got run over by a left-wing agitator?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It seems to be the case. Like, there has been smaller sort of isolated cases where people wearing the colors of the country have been assaulted, and vice versa. Like, I hate playing the partisan sort of thing. So, there has been cases where people with the red, like wearing red or the star, red and star, have been harassed as well. So I don't know, like, but this one in particular was pretty violent and yeah, pretty fucked up to do that.
So this is another
and
one.
And most of the Bolsonaro protests, most of them have been peaceful thus far.
So this guy's take is workers in Brazil are taking direct action against a US-backed coup against Bolsonaro. Solidarity. So this guy,
claim,
this guy thinks that
backing a left-wing person in South America.
Okay. But what is the actual video though? Let's see. So these are the pro-Bolsonaro workers. What are they doing? It's a trucker protest.
Oh, it's a trucker protest, yes.
All the truckers. Okay, someone in the chat says that previous video that we watched that I didn't let the chat see, that it was actually a Marxist professor driving that car, it turns out, after they caught him.
Oh.
Jesus. So for this one, I did hear about this one, that Brazil was doing its own version of Canada's trucker protest. What was going on? What was the story with that you've heard?
Okay, so what happened was, like, most of the working class, like the actual working class, has been pretty squared on Bolsonaro's side, right? Because he really did help the economy.
Yeah.
So
Hold on a second.
was
First, working class people not siding with leftists who claim they're for the working class. Where have you heard that one before?
absolutely Nazis. Am I right?
Yeah. So go on.
No, so yeah, they organized the trucker, the same thing that happened in Canada. Happened here. Like, they organized the trucker sort of protest, and they went on strikes, and not just them. A lot of people in the working sector actually went on strike. It's very common to have strikes here in Brazil, actually. Like, bus driver strikes happen a lot, more than I can count. But this one was notorious because it was one of the first times that I've seen that it actually affected the transport of goods, like the flow of transporting goods from one place to the other. So, like, the cities just saw a huge increase in pricing overnight, and there were places like, I have a recent memory of this, that I went to the mall with a friend, and we passed by McDonald's, and they did not have buns to make sandwiches because
There's
of
no bread.
Yeah,
Lack of bread.
They
Jeez.
just didn't have it.
Wow.
It was pretty insane. Like, I never saw that happen.
So what I've noticed is, like,
Look closer, camera.
Communist countries.
No bread.
yeah, the conquest of bread, literally. Yeah. So the more that I've read political theory, the more that I notice that it's leftists who have done a lot of political theorizing about what a general strike would look like. But whenever a general strike happens, it's never in favor of the left. And I feel like they may need to sit down and figure out why that's the case, you know?
No, and by the way, since the election, everything like these things have been happening a lot, but the media is just like complete radio silence.
No one's
Like,
talking
they're
about it.
not publishing these. No,
Do you have to get, like, news sources from overseas to know what's going on then?
it's easier to just like go around the interwebs and find something, because they are
Just
just
like Twitter
not
and stuff,
talking
yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, because like, how well can you trust a Twitter source, right?
Yeah.
Like, it
Yeah.
always comes with a little bit of skepticism. You know, we get what we get.
Yeah. What's the next one? Let's see here. Right. So this is from the other side of the aisle. Bolsonaro supporters in Santa Catarina doing the Nazi Sieg Heil salute and asking for military intervention because they lost an election. Okay. Let's see if this is actually a Sieg Heil salute, huh? Wow, it is.
Kylie.
It's like, let's analyze the angle of the arm to see if it's not a socialist salute, a Soviet salute.
Caco! Gordo!
Yeah, that's Santa Catarina, man. Why are you?
So, hold on. Is this the Brazilian national anthem? Is that what's being sung?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's the South. That's on the South. Or in the South.
Okay,
You know,
so
that could also be the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. It's the exact same fucking hand gesture, but it's fucking Santa Catarina, man. Like,
yeah, so
if there was a place to have a Nazi salute fucking like congregation, it would be there.
so that's the place where all the
also
Nazis
doesn't
moved.
really. surprise me all that much, because this is just socialism on socialism action. Yet again, they're two extremes pushing against each other. Like in a country where you have communist guerrillas in the countryside, I wouldn't be surprised if there were fascist guerrillas in the city side.
Yeah, that's actually pretty true. Yeah. So some people in the chat are saying that this.
So many people though.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. So this could be an entire group of Nazis, because this is apparently in the area where the Germans fled to after the Second World War. But people in the chat room are saying that this is not actually the Nazi salute. This is how you salute the flag in Brazil, and it's an unrelated hand gesture. So, and the fact that it's the national anthem, it could be the case that this has nothing to do with Nazism at all. But it just looks bad. It looks bad to a Western.
The Brazilian flag.
I don't know. Maybe
according to just a super quick Google search, there are pictures of the what they call the Roman style outstretched right arm. So it's not impossible, that it's the Romans again. Those damn Romans.
Yeah, I know that they, the Nazis took that from the Romans, and the Romans used it before fascism was a thing. And Brazil is certainly older than fascism, so it's entirely possible that a South European descended government could be using symbols of older styles of authoritarianism or nationalism that came before fascism. That could be the case, but it also could be the case that they're just fascists. Who knows? Who knows, right?
Unironically,
here's the counterpoint.
We now have to measure the angle of the arm, because the Roman style salute is straightforward, whilst the fascist one is at an angle.
It's like a 45 degree for the fascist one. Yeah.
Then again, you can also argue, would a bunch of randos know this?
Yeah, that's why I was going to say, in defense, in a counterpoint to this, I would say I was taught as I was a scout, and the scout is pretty sort of like baby steps to be a military officer here in Brazil. So as a scout, I was taught to pledge allegiance to the flag with my right hand over my heart. Okay? Stretch palm, right hand over heart. That's what I was taught. Everyone knew that. It was common knowledge. So this strikes me as odd, because I don't know if that's really common for people to do. Maybe I'm super out of touch with that sort of military mind, but maybe. I don't know, man. It looks bad. At the end of the day, it looks really bad.
So, looking at the start of the video, it does look like they're stretching their arms at an angle.
Yeah, and not straight
upwards,
out.
And it's just not.
Yeah,
just
right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys aren't, but these guys are.
I'll send you a picture, Dev. So there, I found dudes in uniform with the Brazilian flag doing the Roman style one. So.
Okay, let me open it up. Let's see.
There's clearly something to that, but again, I'm looking at the angles of the arms in the video too, and it's a weird Roman one.
Okay, that one I've seen before. That one, the forward one. That's why I said I jokingly said we need to measure the angles there, because that's actually a Soviet salute that they did in Germany, in West Germany.
It would have been East Germany.
East Germany, yeah. So East Germany, they used to do that after during the Berlin Wall phase, when they had the divide. So they would do that salute, and that I did see, but the one at an angle, no, and I've never seen that.
So I like how we're at the part where we're doing arm angle physiognomy to figure out what the fuck these people think. And Arch, I think your point actually makes sense when hold on, it was this one. When you say that there's no way that these random people know that putting your arm forward means that you're for one side, and then putting your arm a little bit higher up means you're for another side. These are just random fucking people. They don't know that shit,
Yeah.
So who knows?
That is also the thing too.
Recently, we had, I don't know if you guys saw this, but recently
Brazilian authorities are investigating the video.
Yeah.
That's
No,
fucking
no one is
stupid
talking
too, though.
about
Like,
this
Brazilian
anyways.
authorities are investigating the video. Okay, so let's say these guys are Nazis, right?
Yeah.
Why the fuck are they investigating them? Like, that's the thing that annoys me. If you were called communist rebels in your country, investigate those first, and then we can worry about the hand gestures.
Yeah, because these people aren't doing any violence; they're just protesting.
Yeah.
You know?
At that
And
point,
to be
like,
fair, it's common knowledge that the south of Brazil is pretty much German descendant after the Second World War. So, like, everybody knows this. There's no investigation that needs to be done. If there are Nazis in Brazil, they will be there. It's very
is
basic.
Brazil one of those countries where it's illegal to be a Nazi?
I don't think so.
Not
No.
that I'm aware.
Then in more case, like, what the fuck is there to investigate?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just looks bad. That's what
Like political opposition?
yeah.
Well.
Yeah, see, it does look bad, but I mean, that's kind of the beginning and end of it, though. Like, it looks bad, okay, but like they didn't do anything wrong, really. Not legally. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
legally, maybe not morally, but legally. Yeah. And of course, the final thing that I have here is, yes, more truckers who are protesting for Bolsonaro. And like this guy says, things are developing quickly in Brazil, and not in a good way after the election that was stolen. And of course, Twitter fact-checked this, because even under Elon Musk, Twitter has to fact-check, and you can't share this tweet. But let's see what the video is.
Polícia Militar acabou de chegar aqui, pediram o microfone. Vamos ver o que eles vão falar. Só um segundo teste. Pessoal, é o seguinte, nós estamos tudo no mesmo barco. Nós estamos junto com vocês.
Hold on a second. What was he saying earlier?
I couldn't hear. It was really quiet. But
Here,
can you play it again?
Yeah, I'll play it again.
Pessoal, a Polícia Militar acabou de chegar aqui, pediram o
Military
microfone.
police just arrived. They asked for a
Vamos ver o que eles vão
microphone.
falar.
Let's see what they are going to talk. They're going to say.
Nós estamos tudo no mesmo barco. Nós estamos junto com vocês.
We were together.
Okay, so what was it?
We're checking the result. Yeah, okay. So it's just the police arrived, like the military police arrived, and they asked for a microphone, and then they just said that they were aligned with the public there, in the sense that they don't think the election was legitimate, or not
Jesus.
they, I should say, but this guy that was
Talking
in this
Yeah.
particular instance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure there are military officers that
Mhm. Yeah, you
actually
can see 'em here, I
disagree
think.
with that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always going to be like a scary thing. You have like a crowd of people who think the election was stolen, and then a military official comes on a speaker and said, "We agree with you." Like that's a scary scenario. Oof.
Also, I need to clarify something. When I say it's not illegal to be a Nazi, I'm actually not being completely honest, because my framework comes from Brazil's non-existent free speech law, because we don't have a free speech law, right? So, like, when I say it's not illegal, it means like it kind of is if you're acting on it, but it's very like mud in the water, sort of. Like you need to investigate it, but I don't think they will investigate it. It's common knowledge
Yeah.
that there are Nazi descendants.
Also,
fucking-
also at the same time, though, I mean, you do have communist
what
guerrillas.
could they do about it? Are they just gonna arrest everybody there?
Yeah, it's gonna become like 1994 thought police at the end of the day, because people will just not express what they think.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
they will
if,
still believe
if all these
what they
people
think.
in the video are Nazis, that would be pretty bad, and like it would be a bad thing. But I don't know if there's anything they could actually do about it.
Well, and
Well,
also
the reason why I asked is because in many countries it is actually illegal to be a Nazi. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's illegal to be a Nazi in America, for example.
I don't think it is.
I'm pretty sure it's not legal to have a Nazi political party in the US.
I think it. I think
No,
it
not the
actually is. I
political-
think it is.
Like
Um,
you're
political
not,
party,
you're
like a
literally not
Nazi
allowed to
political
travel
party.
to America if you're a Nazi. Like there's an actual law stating that you are not allowed to travel to America.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure if you wanted to found a Nazi
pretty
party,
famous for like displaying like Nazi imagery outside their house and like police saying there's nothing they can do
You,
about it, and
you know what I
because
picture
it's
whenever
free
you
speech.
guys,
And
whenever you guys talk about the like, it's not allowed to be this or that, or it's not allowed to get into the country believing these or that. Like, how would you know? Like, unless the guy
I mean, it's not
enters as a
endorsed,
fucking
obviously, but
stereotypical fucking like with the full SS uniform.
Well, like if you're like a public figure, like I know, for example, Lauren Southern was banned from the UK because of her political beliefs. So if you're a public figure, they can kind of get you that way. But for most people, yeah, it's hard to tell. Apparently, the American Nazi Party (ANP) is still active. It's only got 500 members, though.
not really like an official, like as in they can run for office type of party.
Yeah. I mean, I know, for example, in Germany, you can't be a Nazi. In Romania, you can't be a Nazi or a communist. There are some countries where it is banned. Yeah, that's pretty based.
Based.
So I don't know. Like, as an outsider looking in, Brazil looks
In Ukraine,
like
you can't be a communist.
yeah. Brazil looks like basically both sides are like they're pointing at these activists, you know. So the leftoids, they're pointing at videos like this and saying, "Oh my God, all of our opponents are Nazis and they're fascists, and we have to stop. You have to stop the far right destroying our country." Meanwhile, people who are pro Bolsonaro, they literally have to contend with fucking communist guerrillas trying to steal land in the north. So, like,
in the countryland, not there. It's not just the north. It's like countryland. Any countryland.
Yeah, the hinterlands, yeah. So it sounds like a shit show. Brazil sounds like a fucking shit show right now that is teetering on the edge of collapse.
Oh, that has been the case since we left the military dictatorship, to be honest.
Jeez.
You can say what you want about the military dictatorship, but it was stable.
Yeah. It had all of its problems, but at least it lasted for like, what, 25 years or something?
See,
but yeah.
Hold on.
I almost
wait,
think that there are certain areas that just have to be dictatorships at this point.
You know, I've been kind of thinking that a little bit too, and it's like I don't want to think it because I don't like the conclusions of that. But man, like there seem to be some because of like cultural differences, they just don't work well with like a pluralistic democratic system, and it's like Jesus, okay, all right.
It's like Russia. Can you ever imagine Russia as an actual democracy?
To be fair, I could imagine Russia more than the Middle East, for sure. I think Russia's closer to it than the Middle East is.
They recently convicted one of the protesters of the
Middle Eastern country are you talking about?
Demonstrations to death, by the way, in Iran.
Jesus Christ. Fucking hell, man. Like the reason that, you know, liberalism completely collapsed in Afghanistan as the Americans pulled out, I mean, it was partially because, you know, the Americans pulling out, and partially because the government wasn't stable, but also because it just didn't have the will of the people behind it. The people didn't want that system. It was imposed on them by American power. And if they wanted it, they would have kept it. But most people didn't want it.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Like their army gave up. Their army rolled over in hours because they didn't care. Like they were collecting a paycheck for the Americans, but the moment that paycheck disappeared, there was no interest in defending democracy.
Yep.
And to be honest, I kind of think that's okay. Like if they don't force people to stay within their borders, if it's like a containment sort of country. Like if you want to believe in freaking Sharia law and whatever, just do that in that country. Stay there. If people don't like it, they can leave. If people like it, they can join and be under Sharia law. That would be
somehow
fucking
I don't
awesome.
think Sharia law will allow for voluntary immigration and emigration.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
That's
I don't think so
problem.
either.
That's the problem.
They definitely want to expand eventually if they can, for sure. That's also the problem, yeah. You know, it's very strange because, like, Spanish fascism was kind of unique in that it was an expansion. It wasn't like an expansionist fascism because most other forms, they want to go out and conquer. The Spaniards were fine just staying in their own borders and just being fascist, you know, where they were.
Because Franco wasn't really what I would describe as a fascist. He used fascism in its most liberalistic sense interpretation of the word, if you get what I'm meaning. He used fascism as simply just the political party that will allow me to do whatever the fuck I want, whenever the fuck I want.
Yeah. So in terms of my three forms video, he was more neo-fascist than he was classical fascist. Yeah, it was less
He was
ideological.
progressive, you could say. Yes.
Yeah. But I think it was the phalangists before him. They were the classical fascists, and they kind of got drowned out in the same way that Hitler drowned out the Strasserites in Germany. But yeah, so I think that's everything that I have regarding Bolsonaro and Brazil. But it does, by the way, it does seem. I know that here's the thing. I don't really care too much about YouTube's rules. I know that YouTube has made it against the rules to say that Bolsonaro lost the election and had it stolen from him. If I thought Bolsonaro actually had it stolen from him, I would say so on YouTube. I don't give a fuck. But from what we've gone over today, from the things that we've talked about, from some of the stuff that Val has told us, it does seem to be the case that Bolsonaro has legitimately lost the election. And not by much. And Brazil is probably worse off for it, considering the communist guerrillas that the left is aligned with right now, that Lula is aligned with.
Debatable. I don't think Bolsonaro was all that much great.
I don't think he was that bad, considering what had come before and what's going to happen now. You know what I mean? Like, Bolsonaro had his problems, but fuck.
Looking outside, it's like I feel like the leftists would probably be better for the rainforest at least. And
Lilith.
Fuck the rainforest.
Hold on. I'm going to pull it up again. Lilith, the landless workers movement. 1.5 million people who are communist guerrilla revolutionaries.
I don't have to support those people. I'm just saying, I'm like...
Yeah, but Lula is aligned with them, and Lula's the guy who won.
I'm not saying that you have to agree with everything. I certainly don't. You don't agree with everything Bolsonaro has done, obviously.
Of course. But if I had to choose the lesser of two evils, I think it's Bolsonaro, because he doesn't have 1.5 million revolutionaries who are marching across the hinterlands, trying to seize farmland. I think there's a difference in scale here, man.
I don't know. I don't feel like they're the same, though.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, everyone has their own view on it, right? But if I had to choose, I probably would have chosen another Bolsonaro term personally. But I'm not Brazilian, so I don't got to live with it. Val, before
I don't have a say in it. It's just I'm saying from my outside perspective.
Mm-hmm. Val, who were you voting for in the end? Who did you root for?
I'm not saying like a socialist is good for the country by any means, but like it seems like the two evils, and you know what? I'm not gonna be super upset.
No, fair enough. Yep.
That's actually a part of my sentiment too. Like I wish that Lula had a better. I wish actually that the Labour Party had a better candidate instead of Lula. Like they could have platformed anyone like nominated anyone, and I would probably most likely vote for them, depending on their policies. But Lula, like, why are you bringing him again? And I don't like Bolsonaro. Like aside from the jokes, like the base jokes, which he does have some base points, but like I don't like the guy. I never did. In fact, I sort of Nostradamus his demise, which wasn't that hard to see.
Yeah, I guess if you're on the inside, you can kind of see it. Yeah.
Yeah, like he was super unlikable as a president. Like he did some good stuff, yeah, but for you to continue as a president, you actually need to sort of sell your image to the people that disliked you in the first place. And he didn't do that. He just doubled down. And at the end of the day, what
he wasn't
happened
a moderate.
was,
he didn't bring in the center. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, I honestly, I just nulled my vote. I went there and said, no, neither of you.
Neither of you?
Yeah. And people hate that here, by the way. Like, I will get a lot of hate if I, it's out of the bag now, but like, if I did say that back when the election was happening, I would have definitely being called a vermin, a parasite, not a fence sitter, but like just disgusting, vile things, and things that people used to call people that didn't support like regimes back in the day. So I don't know. I feel like I'm doing quite well by newly my
Yeah.
vote.
Fair enough,
I
right?
don't want people to think I'm like a Lulus. Then I really am not. I think both of those options suck as just like an outsider perspective.
Lilith, we all know that you're a communist. It's okay.
Fuck you. Never. The communists destroyed my country. All right.
Okay, so the funny part is like among my friend group, it's always like
It'll be a great day
Lilith
when
the communist.
the communists
Lilith
are
the
kicked out of China.
In my friend group, it's always Lilith the communist, and I understand how you feel, Lilith, because in Sargon's friend group, it's always Dev's the communist, Dev's the communist, and Arch, you're part of that. Thank you very much.
Yes, and my justification is very simple. There's always a further left.
There's always a further left. Yeah, see, so
until you become right.
Till you loop
go
back around. So
Yeah.
so
As far as I'm concerned, Lilith is probably a right winger by that logic.
Okay. So here's how I kind of view politics in general, right? It's like I will vote for a center right person over a far left person. And I'll vote for a center left person over a far right person. I like the center. I like the moderates. I like normalcy, you know?
Yeah, just people that are willing to listen to the other side. Like you don't need to fully endorse the people that come from that side, but like listen to their grievances and try to include that into your sort of government plan, like the governing plan. Like try to do that at least. But like
I know what you mean, yeah.
demonizing people, because that's what we had for 4 years. It was like, if you voted Bolsonaro, you're a fucking fascist or a racist or a homophobe or a transphobe and blah 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 blah. And you guys had that in the US too.
Actually, hold on. Just out of
with Trump.
curiosity, who did you vote for in 2018?
I voted for Bolsonaro because I wanted
Based.
him to. Oh, yeah. I voted for Bolsonaro because I wanted him. I wanted something different. Like, I know that political parties don't mean a lot here in Brazil, but he is from the Liberal Party, okay? Like his name, he's from the Liberal Party. It's not even that far right, not even that far left either. So it's a centrist party. And I just wanted him to, shake up a little bit of the government that has been stale under the Labour's Party for so long. Like I don't know.
If I were to compare the situation to something else that we might know, in the UK you have the Labour Party, right? And the Labour Party has always had its radical wing, like the Corbynistas, and it's always had its more moderate wing. And the Labour Party went toward its radical wing, and it was disastrous for them. And now they're trying to pull back to the center a little bit more. And that will probably be what ends up happening here with Brazil's shift to the left with Lula, because Lula's pretty far left. If you have the support of communist guerrillas, you're pretty far left. Like that is kind of like a hard and fast rule. So if there were let's say moderate components of Lula's party that have been pushed out, maybe they will have a chance to return and retake the party after Lula goes through, let's say, a period of failure, because it's probably going to be shitty now in Brazil for a bit.
Oh yeah, and like there's the problem of the pandemic too, which I don't know, people seem to just gloss over sometimes, but I feel like aside from a very few world leaders, there weren't many who survived their terms after COVID, because like how can you actually do anything differently? Like if you hard lockdown people will suffer. If you don't, people will suffer. If you enforce freaking mandates, people will suffer. If you don't, people will suffer. Like there's no easy way out of the pandemic, and I think people unjustifiably blame it on the president at the time, but really
Yes,
it's something that nobody had control over.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
but
I
on the
honestly
other
think
side of
that
the
Bolsonaro
coin, to
lost
be
because of
fair,
it.
on the other side of the coin, to be fair, Bolsonaro did make some pretty outrageous comments about the coronavirus during his reign. No?
Yeah, he had some coronavirus, like
he
it's
did.
not real and that kind of
I
thing.
think
Yeah, there
he
was some
said like
mixes.
it wasn't real. It was just like a common flu, and he said like the vaccine will turn people into alligators or some
But-
shit.
I don't know about the reptile thing, but I do know that most of the comments about just being a common flu and yada yada came a
I
little
mean,
bit
it's pretty
after Trump
funny.
did.
Yeah, it's
Don't
funny,
get me
yeah.
wrong, but it's
Yeah.
like as like a serious political statement. That's like,
See,
I mean,
That's
yeah, I can
why I
see
think
why
he's an
some
idiot.
people would blame him for it. I was watching like a documentary before this video started to do research, and I was some Brazilian that they were formerly Bolsonaro supporters. They criticized him on the coronavirus point because like I believe like 600,000 people died from coronavirus. I'm not saying all of it is his fault, but like
Oh, yeah,
the
COVID
people
was
tend to blame the
really
president.
bad.
Yeah,
COVID
the
was
people tend to
bad.
blame the president. So it's my opinion, for example, that Trump lost solely because of the coronavirus, and it's
And
unfair.
I think
It's
Bolsonaro as well.
yeah, it's completely unfair because the president only has so much power in these various federal systems. But like, if something bad happens and the main guy is in control, a lot of people just think it's his fault. So, if Hillary had won in 2016, she would have lost in 2020 because of the coronavirus. It would have been the same thing. I think a lot of voters, a lot of voters are short-sighted, and they are one-issue voters. They are what the left like to call in the United States low information voters. And so basically the reason why a whole bunch of countries kind of reoriented themselves after COVID is because it didn't matter if it was left or right or what policy, more or less lockdowns or more or less aid or whatever. The fact that COVID even happened caused people to vote for the other guy. That's what I think happened everywhere.
You know what? The disinformed voter problem is potentialized when you have a mandatory voting thing on your country. Like it's just it's bad because people just vote for the sake of voting, and nobody knows exactly what they are going to expect from the person that they are voting to. So I don't know. It's yeah, COVID it really fucked people. Like the thing with Bolsonaro and Trump especially is that Trump was pretty much a dumbass. Like he was a dumbass with a lot of power, and he did some good stuff, but he was ultimately a dumbass. And Bolsonaro took that to heart for whatever reason, and instead of just shutting up, he would run his mouth about how COVID wasn't that bad, and like he would comment on everything. And we know how it works. Like anything you say when you have that much power over a country will be used against you when you are running for re-election. And he just poisoned the water basically against himself. Like Lula didn't win the election. Bolsonaro lost the election.
Yeah,
in my
Yeah, but
opinion.
that only
And that's
goes,
the same thing
goes
with
one
Biden, too.
way, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
It really only does go one way. Like, Biden is a fucking train wreck who can't speak, and yet this is not being held against him. Trump gets 2 scoops of ice cream, and it's news for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's true. that is true.
Scoops too many.
That's true. I do agree with you on that one.
It's
Clearly,
pretty
the media
unfair.
does have its bias. Yes.
It does.
Yeah.
I definitely don't disagree with that.
But in terms of like the actual voting population, it does seem to be the case that just like Bolsonaro here, Biden didn't win, Trump lost in 2020.
Yeah, the Biden vote was more of like he's not Trump.
Yeah. And here's the thing,
That's
though.
what it was for
But
most
the he's not Trump sentiment, I think, came from coronavirus, and Trump probably would have won 2020 if there was no coronavirus. So.
Well, there's the twist again, because if we say coronavirus, more people have died under Biden than under Trump. And Biden had more resources and more preparedness to stop the numbers rising, plus a vaccine. So surely if it was COVID, Biden should have seen his party trumped in the midterms now, and yet it was a miraculous victory.
So I've been looking into the midterms, and I found some really interesting things. So the MAGA Republicans that are more, let's say, bombastic and they're more populist, and Trump supported them, those guys seem to be losing a little bit more than everyone thought. But the institutional Republicans, the ones that are more like traditional GOP, they're out there actually winning like safe Democratic seats. And I've been looking at some of these results of like these smaller races, like House races, right? And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, what if it is actually the case that basically Trumpism as a force is spent now, and it's going to be more like, and the future of the party is more like Ron DeSantis or someone who's more like a traditional GOP guy. Like maybe that's what's going on.
It is possible. Like it's, I'm not going to deny that, because the Trump wing has been overly bombastic, and it has. Honestly, I'd compare his style of support a bit to Obama's at this point, where it has become a temple. Like you cannot criticize Obama within the Democrat camp, and you can't criticize Trump, except the Republicans do it. But you get the idea. It's the same kind of reverence.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned Obama, because I actually like some of his quotes. Like he had at least at the start of his term, he had a pretty good sort of let's work together, like we are one country and yada yada. Like he had a very nice sort of unifying speech about not hating your neighbor because they voted differently than you. And I really respected that. But then he was, Obama for a little while, and that
yeah, a lot of that rhetoric kind of went out the window.
Pavel, he did so much for the doctors. Google Obama Doctors Without Borders to find out more.
Oh God. Okay, so I think we have come to the end of the show. Thanks very much for being here, Val, and you as well, Arch, for jumping in halfway.
You're welcome.
Does anyone have any final comments to make about the Brazilian elections? Do you want to deny them and get my channel taken down?
I don't know. Do you have the? I don't think you have the little box under the video.
Oh, not yet.
Like,
not yet.
Yeah. It needs to be peer reviewed.
My final take is legitimate election seems to actually be that way, and I'm not just being forced to say that. But even though it's legitimate, I think Brazil is in for a few years of pain, and it's not going to be fun to live there. Sorry, Val.
And if I could say, like, leave a positive message, it's like, okay, it is bad for now, and please accept that democracy sometimes doesn't go your way. Please do not do anything stupid. Please. I don't want military coups. I don't want. And also that communism, like the hammer and sickles, should be held with the same disdain as the swastika. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Based. Yeah, I'll always take hope pills, guys. Hope pills.
Yep. My take is just like, I think the election was not stolen. It's not a U.S.-backed coup, like some moron was suggesting that earlier. But also, it's probably not a very good thing, not a communist or a socialist one. But I also wouldn't have rathered a fascist one either. So.
You fucking commie.
My take was not dissimilar to yours, except
I know I'm teasing you. Listen,
People
Arch.
are so mean to Lilith. I'm here to stand Lilith. Don't be mean to Lilith.
Arch, I now understand why you guys do it to me so much. It's really fun.
Yes, it is.
So, Arch, what about you? What do you think was going on?
I don't know enough about Brazilian elections to comment on anything on election integrity matters, honestly. So I don't really know. It doesn't surprise me because Bolsonaro has. The thing is, Trump received 99% negative PR coverage. Like, that is going to take its toll. And it looks like Bolsonaro has received much the same treatment. And at the end of the day, as much as we denigrate the media and try to minimize that effect, the thing is, for most people, that is still their source of news. So I'm far from surprised that the opposition won, and I don't think they needed cheating to do it in this case.
Oh God, like finding anything relating to the corruption scandal around Lula after the elections was actual hell. Like, you can't
They just
find
scrubbed it all, eh?
anything. Yeah, like, it's
Yes.
insane. It's suddenly he is just an angel, has been wronged by the system. Nothing happened. It's a big lie. But then when you go back like to 2012, you see like all the shit that has been scrubbed under the rug. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I
Even
do.
in Norwegian news, they described their pretty much precise words was that he had Lula had previously been incorrectly accused of corruption.
Incorrectly accused.
Yes.
Here's the thing: if you you know, Wikipedia has its problems, but you can still hit up the Wikipedia article on Lula, and it still has like his old corruption from the 90s and 2000s. That's still there, so people still know that he's corrupt. It's just that I'm not surprised that the current Brazilian atmosphere is one of sweeping that shit under the rug. You know, because now that he's the new leader. Someone in the chat says that he went to court to have it taken out of to strike it down. Jesus, man.
Yeah.
That's something that Trump said he wanted to do, but didn't really do it. This guy's actually bringing the news to court to make sure they don't report on his corruption. That's pretty fucked. That's pretty fucked, I gotta say.
Yeah, that and the censorship, like the whole thing with the government like asking Twitter to ban people and whatnot. That's kind of sus.
Wait, what was this? What are you talking about? What do you mean?
When we talked about this already, like the it wasn't litigation. It was like the Bolsonaro people were being censored from Twitter.
Oh, that's right. Because
we talk about it?
I think we talked about it in private. But we didn't talk about it on the stream yet. What happened was, I think the TLDR of it is basically Lula's new government has been asking Twitter to censor Bolsonaro supporters on like Portuguese Twitter. And,
the misinformation thing. Yeah. That was the context. Yeah.
Is Elon actually going through with that? Actually, to be fair, Elon probably doesn't know what the fuck's going on. He has his own things to worry about. So
yeah, I doubt Elon would care.
The funny part about like, okay, so if we're going straight up Twitter, like Mark Hamill and what's his face, the Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, Mark Ruffalo, I hate that guy, fucking asshole. Like they are both like super pro Lula, and Elon Musk is the only one that is going like, okay, yeah, we're not gonna ban everyone. That's we stand with you, Brazil, and like, come on, man, just be bipartisan. You're a fucking Hollywood actor. Nobody cares. Please stop talking about our politics, please. Like, you know nothing about it. Yeah. At least in the US, you live there.
To be fair, a lot of Hollywood celebrities just talk about fucking everything happening around the world all the time, like they think someone actually cares when they know nothing about anything. They don't even know their own fucking country.
Mark Ruffalo talking about the rainforest and how Brazil is destroying it and blaming it on Bolsonaro. Actual peak Twitter. I laughed for a day.
Jesus. Okay. So I think that has to be the end of it, especially because it is now 6:00 and my dinner is already ready and Naomi's grumbly that I haven't ended the stream yet. So
that's good. I need to head over to Kyle's stream to call him a furry. Fuck it. Anyways.
Well, actually, I'm going to be raiding Kyle's stream because Kyle set me up so that we can raid each other now. So everyone who's here, don't leave the stream once we leave. Okay, here's the plan, okay? once this stream ends, it will automatically bring, because YouTube, there's like a new YouTube function. It basically works like Twitch's raids. So all of you guys will automatically be pushed over into Kyle's stream, and you're all going to spam breed Kibs over and over. Okay, don't leave the chat just yet. All right, you can leave after you spam breed Kibs over in Kibs' stream. So once I end the stream, I think I set it up properly that it'll automatically move you over there. So, Kibs is playing a furry game right now, even fucking better.
Yes.
So,
Damn.
so yeah, I've got to go eat. But thanks everyone for being here. Thanks Val for your insights. Thanks Arch for showing up. Thanks all the super chats. And remember everyone, go tell Kibs that he must be bred. All right, guys. Well,
call him a brony too.
Call him a brony. Okay, we'll see you later. Good night.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.